live stream. Had some news to share. Thought about waiting and doing a video about it tomorrow. I was like, nope, we're going to talk about it now. We are going to talk about it right here, right now. We're going to wait a while, though, for some people to come in. See if anybody's out there on a Thursday evening. If people want to talk, let me make sure my app is functioning correctly. I just updated it. So far, it's, I don't know, not doing much. Okay, there we go. There we go. Tired 2019, different, checking in. Jay, Doopy, okay. All right. Okay, I feel like my numbers, okay, there we go. There, it was saying 3 people. I'm like, wait a second, there's more than 3 people commented. Okay. How y'all doing out there? Good to see you. I'm gonna wait till like 50 people get in here, then we're gonna talk. Awaken, how you doing? Kevin checking in. Ethan, 710. I'm waiting till it says 50 people. There's probably that many people in here already. It's just not showing me the updated numbers. There we go. Oh man, it already jumped to 78. Okay, cool. How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Appreciate y'all tuning in. It is your humble YouTube host, Tim, back with another video. Got some very exciting news. Want to share with y'all and explain as well the situation. So I am back living carless again. No longer have a automobile, no longer have a vehicle. The Prius is gone. The Prius is gone. Had it since probably August 2020. So 3 years, which is really good for a car for me. Honestly, that might be the longest I've had a car, or it's right up there. I had a Nissan Sentra, I feel like, for maybe around that amount of time too. But honestly, probably the best car I've ever had. Best car I've ever had. This was the first car I had that I kept up on the maintenance and all that stuff. But it was time. And honestly, I started thinking about getting rid of my car some months back. And then some of y'all know that I mentioned that I took it to the mechanic recently and they said there was like a really bad oil leak and it was just getting worse. So I took it to a mechanic and they were like, yeah, you're probably gonna start having some engine issues soon. And they basically recommended like just driving it until it blew up. And so that led me to believe like, okay, I was on like that right path when I was thinking about maybe getting rid of it. You know, sometimes in life when you're thinking about something, then something will come along and try to nudge you in the right direction. So just really, while I was up in Estes Park, I didn't drive it much. Like I would drive it into town, which is like 10 minutes away, grab some food, come back. When I'm working up at the Y, I really don't have to drive much because everything's right there. This is like its own little campus. But when I left there and I was trying to decide what I wanted to do next, I really kept coming back to like the car was holding me back. Because every time I was like, oh, I want to go travel here. I'm like, what am I going to do with the car? Especially now, because I'm like, I'm not going to drive it cross country anymore. I'm not going to risk it. So it was always like, okay, if I fly out somewhere, take the train out somewhere, you know, what am I going to do with the car? And the car was always going to bring me back somewhere, you know? And I was like, Tim, this is another example of like your possessions holding you back or what you own owning you. Because I'm like, I can't decide what I want to do based on what I want to do. I have to figure out this car situation. And in the past, I would have done it. But this time I was like, you know what? I think it's just time to let it go. You know, also, too, if I'm going to keep living in this part of the country long term, eventually, I need a 4-wheel drive. Like I said, I love the Prius. It was an amazing car, but not a 4-wheel drive. Doesn't do well in the snow. And everything was just adding up to, no, it's not Greyhound time yet. It's not Greyhound time yet. It could get there, but it ain't that time yet. But everything was just adding up to like, you're holding on to this because you're attached to it, not because it's like useful in your life anymore. You've grown attached to it. You're used to having a car. And I'll be honest, I was like scared of being carless again. And I was like, that's how you really know you need to let it go, when you're scared to let it go. So I took it up to the CarMax. You know, CarMax will buy your car pronto, tanto. So I took it up to the CarMax. The whole process took an hour. They checked it out. I told them, I was like, hey, it's got an oil leak. I was full transparency. They checked it out, quoted me a number. I said, cool. They cut me the check. I took an Uber back home. The whole thing took like an hour, maybe just a little over an hour. It took from when I left home to when I left here to when I got back here. It took 2 hours total. Went down there to the CarMax. Great people, friendly people. They quoted me a price. Literally, the guy said, "This is how much we can give you." I said, "I'll take it," because I already had a price in my mind that like I thought was fair. Every car I've ever sold, I've sold at like a steep discount. You know, they didn't cut your boy a huge check, but it was enough that like I felt it was fair for what they were getting. The car had paid for itself a million times. Like literally, not exaggerating, that car has probably paid for itself 10 times, 5 times over, just from the content I've been able to create about it and in it. You know what I mean? You know how many live streams I did sitting in that car? You know how many videos I did sitting in that car? Like the car had paid for itself, you know? So yeah, I was just like, I don't need to make a certain amount of money off this car. I just wanted enough from it that like it could help me in the future. So when they said that number, I was like, bet. They went, you know, did a few more things, brought me my tags, handed me my check. Let's go. So we're back carless again. And you know what's crazy? It didn't. Leading up to it, I was like super nervous and kind of scared. And like, I'll admit, I didn't sleep well last night. I had to take a Dramamine to go to sleep because it's just like, man, going out of car again. But the moment I did it, I messaged my buddy Cyan and I was like, sold the car. And he was like, how's it feel? And I was like, it hasn't really sank in yet, but like it didn't feel. I just got, you know what I mean? I've been carless for many, many years. You know, before that, let's see, I got rid of my car in 20, I got rid of my Sentra in 2014, 2015, 2014, and I didn't have a car again until 2018. I had a Jeep Cherokee for a little bit, 2018, 2019. So I went years without having a car. So my mind just flipped right back into like not have a car mode. Just flip right back into it, you know. Hey, let me call an Uber, let me get back to the hotel, you know. So, and honestly, I think it will benefit me with my minimalism too, because you know I'm two suitcase Timmy, but when you got a trunk and a back seat, you know what I mean. You can put all kinds of stuff in the trunk, and you know, forget about. That's what I used to do. I would leave a lot of stuff in my like when I was traveling somewhere. If I didn't take my car, I would just leave a lot of stuff in the trunk, travel there, leave the car parked at the airport. That's why I used to love being parked at the Bozeman airport because it's a very safe airport. Ain't nothing that happened to your car at the Bozeman airport. You know, I just leave stuff that I didn't want to travel with in the trunk of my car and just, you know, come back for it later. But like that, I had accumulated some stuff that way. So now, I'll tell you, the past few days we've been downsizing like crazy, just throwing stuff away. I don't have a ton of stuff, but yeah, it's back to car-free life. And honestly, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it. I had got comfortable with the vehicle. And not saying there's anything wrong with the vehicle, but y'all know me, I hold myself accountable for the things I talk about. You know what I mean? Everyone who's just coming and asking, I sold my car. It was time for it to go. So I sold it. Took it up to the CarMax, sold it. But if I'm out here talking about living free, chasing your dreams, getting out of your comfort zone, that was my comfort zone. You know, the car was a comfort zone, you know? And a lot of the things I wanted to do, I realized some of my possessions were holding me back. So now I got no excuse. Now I got to be on the road because I got to be somewhere. And I don't have that car safety net. So yeah, that was kind of like the final straw when I was like, should I take this car? Because I had booked an appointment and then I pushed the appointment back and I was like, nah, Tim, it's time to go. It's time to go. Because it's not like you really need it. It's that you just like having it. And I'm like, isn't that what you talk about with everything else? You know, where it's just like, hey, if it's not a tool and it's not a tool that's being useful, not saying my car wasn't useful, but not for what I'm trying to do now. Yeah, so I was pleasantly surprised at just how quick the process was. And they was just kind of like, why are you selling it? And I was like, I need a 4-wheel drive and I want to do some traveling. They was like, cool. Like they were, I love that. I love that. If you got a car to sell, take it to the CarMax. If you don't need top dollar for it, if you don't want to deal with, people trying to talk you down and haggle and all this craziness, I take it up to the CarMax. It's done. It's done. Over. I ain't got to deal with it. So, yeah. No, my car didn't get repoed. No. How could it get repoed? It was paid off. How could it get repoed? It was paid off. No, I'd have told you if it got repoed. I'd have told you. I'd have been like, yeah, they came and got that. I've had cars repoed in the past. Several. I just stopped paying on them. Come get it. This is the first car I ever paid off. Facts. This is the first car I ever paid off. It was a 2010. It was 2010. So it was like 13, going on 14 years old. So that was part of it too. I feel like it was on that up cycle, and it was about to be down on the upswing. It's about to be the downswing. It wasn't gonna get no better. And I even told the guy there, I was like, I figured I'd sell it, while it was still decent. They can take it, fix it up, sell it again, get their money's worth. So yeah, I was like, I felt like everything just came together. Everything just came together. So now we can start doing carless content. We can start doing carless content. Nobody wants to hear a video about your car unless you're talking about living in it. Nah, I didn't buy it new. I just bought it in 2020 with that government money, with that them STEMI checks bought me that car. Well, the down payment on it. Well, actually, I didn't do a down payment on it, but they made most of the payments, a lot of the payments in them years. But or getting that government money made it to where I was comfortable buying the car. But yeah, nobody cares about like cars content unless you're living in it. But yeah, like car free content, let's go. Carless content, let's go. Yeah, CarMax will buy anything. Let's get these comments here. CarMax will buy anything, which I like. I was gonna say, I don't haggle. I don't like to haggle. I don't want people, you go to sell a car and people want to kick the tires and check the oil, and they want to do all this other stuff. And then especially dudes, they feel the need to, hey, I know a lot about cars. You're not going to get over. That's why I always sell my cars cheap, because I want people to know I'm not trying to get over on you. I just want to get rid of the car. CarMax, they didn't do none of that. I sat inside in the air conditioning on my phone. My sister called me. I was talking to my sister. Shout out to Big Sis. They came and said, hey, we got you an appraisal. I'll take it. Give us a few minutes. We're going to finalize everything. You need anything out the car? I'm good. Came back. Boom. Easy. I said, I like this. This is how I want to sell everything. I wish eBay had a location, a physical location. You could just take regular stuff there and that's actually a good idea. I guess that's called a pawn shop. But pawn shop, baby. I just want to take my stuff and sell it. Shout out to everybody in the comments. The numbers looking good. Somebody else is back on the Greyhound? Nah, we're not doing that. I mean, hey, if we have to do the Greyhound, we'll do the Greyhound. Brent, you living in the Subaru Outback? Nice. Yeah, when it's time to get a car again, Subaru is definitely going to be on my list. Or yeah, CarMax might just take it and wholesale it out. That's probably what they'll do. They'll wholesale it out. Yeah, sure. Just get the check, take Uber home. I'm easy peasy. Craig, that's what I'm saying, Craig. Like if we gonna talk about this minimalist lifestyle, we gonna do it. We gonna do it. Not saying you can't be a minimalist and have a car, but when it stopped kind of serving its purpose, well, let's move on. It was kind of scary. Didn't sleep well last night. Literally was up. It was like midnight. I was wide awake. I'm like, what's wrong with me? And I'm like, oh, I'm nervous about selling this. Even today, like I had anxiety all day because I'm like, this is a big step. But then I'm like, is it really? We've done this before. You know what I mean? We've been here. We've been here before. Yeah, and like I said, I'm not worried about top dollar. I feel like that's one of our issues in life too. I talk with, you interact with people and they're trying to sell something. Everybody wants top dollar. I'm not I don't care. Give me a couple dollars for it. Let's move on. Yeah, this is the way I look at it. Like when I sold my Subaru, I sold it to some kid for like 500 bucks or something. Could I got more? Yeah. But I look upon that as generosity. If I have something and it's worth X amount and I sell it for less than that, especially if I'm selling it to like a kid or somebody like that, that's generosity. That money I didn't get, I'm giving. You know what I mean? So like that's why when I sell stuff, I don't care like that. Like especially if I got my money's worth. I think we forget to factor in getting your money's worth. I drove the car for 3 years. I filmed multiple live streams and videos in it. If they'd give me $3 for it, I would have still been up $3. Cause I got, you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't care about, yeah. Nah, it's just everybody always, oh, this, it's worth this. I looked it up on the internet and it said it's worth this much. I want that much. How long have you had it? You know, you got to factor in how much you've used it. And I don't know. I just wanted to check. Okay. No kids, no marriage, no car. Got to add that to the list. Kara already got rid of the car earlier today. Yes. Um, Stretch, I don't have a van because like I don't want to live in a car. I don't want to live in a van. Everybody seems to, and I get it. Um, but I love the fact that despite my lifestyle, and though it may seem like I would be a perfect fit for van life, I don't want to do it. So I don't do it. You know, I know me. Now, you know, if my next vehicle's roomy and occasionally I road trip out of it and sleep in the back, I do want a vehicle big enough to like when I'm road tripping and I don't want to throw down, you know, $100 a night for a hotel. I can climb in the back. I do want that. But like as far as like getting a van and living in it full time, I just really don't have the desire to do that. And I like that because I feel like it kind of goes against, you know, the normal pattern. I always, even in lifestyles that I'm a part of, I always want to go against the norm. Everybody seems like people seem to think that's the next step. Oh, you sell your stuff, you get a van, you live in it. I'm like, nah, I'll be in these hotels. I'll be in these Airbnbs, you know. Which now we definitely have to counter coin. Before I did always have the like, shout out to you, Kaz, quitting your job. Before I was like, well, I can always live in the car if I need to. Now it's like, oh, we don't have that fallback position. We got to come up with another one. Still no kids, no marriage. Making an abrupt decision would fry your nerves. Stefan, I'm learning that like I do better with abrupt decisions. We're almost at 100 likes. Thank you. I'm learning I do better with abrupt decisions. If I take too long, I'll hem and I'll haul, I'll go back and forth. These days, like I've told myself I don't need to make the right decision. I need to make good decisions. Because you never know if it's the right decision anyway. So as long as I'm making decisions that seem like they're the good decision or a wise decision, I don't need, you know what I mean? So I just do, I know me. I used to waffle back and forth and waver back and forth because I was trying to make the right decision. Now I'm like, hey, it seemed like a good decision at the time. We did it. We'll have to live with it. You know what I mean? 2 months from now, I might be like, dang, I missed that Prius. I don't think so. I don't think so. Um, yeah, I checked the pocket doors. Oh, I went all through the car. You know what I mean? Which I don't have much in the car anyway. The center console had a lot of junk in it. I'm like, where did all this stuff come from? It's craziness. But yeah, I went through it, checked everything. Um, I don't have much. Like the cool thing about being a minimalist is anything major in my life, I know where it's at pretty much all times. Little piddly unimportant stuff, I might not know where it's at. I might forget I have it. But all the important stuff, like I know where it's at. So I'm rarely if ever gonna leave something important somewhere because I don't have much important stuff. Hey Victor, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is love. Thank you, Victor. Super Chat Squad. Said train life is better. Would love to get rid of my car. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate the love, Victor. I'm excited to get back into using these transportations. You know what I mean? Couple people asked. I'm in Colorado still currently. Um, I'm trying to start back. I'm trying to downsize. I'm going to downsize some more. I'm excited to get back on these public transportations. Like we here. Awaken. You always been carless? Oh, nice. One day, yeah, get your license, get your little whip, maybe. Um, EB23 said places like that rip you off. Here's my take on that. You can't rip me off. Like no, like if you come to me trying to sell a car, and I say I'll give you $500 for it. If the car is worth 5,000, you just have to say no. If I tell you what I'll give you for something and you take it, that's not me ripping you off. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like you can't rip me off in a situation. Like you can't. If you can't rip me off if I'm selling you something. I can rip you off if I'm selling you something and it's not what I say it is. But if you're buying from, like if someone's buying from me, they can't rip me off, right? How can, like, if I'm buying from you, I can't rip you off. I tell you what it's worth. You either take it or you don't. So that's what I'm saying. Like, could I've got more money from the car for the car somewhere else? Probably. Would it have been way more hassle? Definitely. So like they can't rip me off. They offered me a price and I accepted it. But like I'm a grown man, so like I do my due diligence. I look at Kelly Blue Book, all the, you know what I mean? Like I do all that. I know the price range, but like you can't, you know what I mean? You can't rip me off. Either I take it or I don't. Anything I sell. People say that a lot when I talk about like selling stuff on eBay. They'll be like, "Don't get ripped off." I'm like, "You can't rip me off if I'm selling something. If I accept it, if I start the auction too low, you know what I mean? I don't know." So yeah, I definitely was not ripped off, and I don't think it's possible to get ripped off. The person doesn't have to accept it. That's all I'm saying. Of course they're gonna lowball you. They're a car company, but you don't have to take it. So like, once again, this is just my thoughts. I feel like we have some weird views on. I think a lot of that's victim mentality. But now, if you go in there without doing your research, that's on you. You know. Sorry about that. I had to block somebody. Um, yeah, Ashley. Sometimes you just got to make the. I'm finding for me. Sometimes I just got to make the decision. You know what I mean? Like the stress of going back and forth is worse for me than if I make a bad decision. Personally, would I spend money building a business or work for commissions and keep the money? I think it depends on the business and the company, or you can do both. People who just came in, I sold my car. I sold it. It's time for it to go. Next video, I got a horse. No, I would love to get like a little, but I mean, I'm gonna be traveling, so it'll probably be a while before I get any type of car. Justin checking in from Florida. It's chilly down there. Okay. Dominique been car free for 5 years. Don't miss it. If I was homeless with no car, for me, I would just go get a seasonal job because they provide housing. So that's what I would do. Like if I end up no car, things ain't going right, I end up on them streets, I'm just gonna apply for every seasonal job there is because they provide housing. And then I'll just go there and work until I build some money up, get an apartment or what, you know what I mean? That would be my fix. Like, yeah. Chris, it felt good. Or actually, it felt there really wasn't. I feel freer, but there really wasn't. You know, sometimes you do something and there's a real feeling of. It just kind of felt like, yeah, this is what we do. You know, there wasn't a huge exhale. You know, it was just like, oh yeah, this is what we do. Let's get back to it. Um, so that the fact that it didn't really feel too crazy felt good. Hey Spencer, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is love. Appreciate that abundance. Said I ride an e-bike, more coin, more freedom. Facts, facts. I mean, you know, if I end up when I do find my home base that I'm looking for, it's gonna be bicycle, e-bike, something like that. You know, Uber changed the game. It was a 2010 Toyota Prius, Arnie. Uber changed the game. Like anywhere you need to go, you can just public transportation or hop in an Uber. You know, like would I ever hitchhike to get around? I would like to, but I don't think I ever would. You know, Isaac, I never worked as a park ranger before. I worked in national parks, but not as a park ranger. You might be if you hop on coolworks.com, there's literally hundreds of jobs on there that provide housing. So coolworks.com. And there's a section that says job with housing. I wish I could put the link. But yeah, coolworks.com. Tons of jobs with housing. That's what I've been doing since 2015, mainly when I've been working is seasonal jobs. I just came from one in the mountains in Colorado. What up, Christine? Yeah, Jaws, you know about J1s, the J1 visa, international students? Yeah, man. I got some really good friends that came over in the J1 visa program. What up, Jessica? I don't think a motorcycle's me. Yeah, I don't think that's me. I mean, that's, I think, what, yeah, I'm just don't, nah, I'm good. Paul, the last Airbnb I stayed in for a month was $1,500, but it was in like a really nice. It was in Vegas, and it was in a really nice house. Like you could rent a room in a house, Airbnb. Let's say here in Denver. I was looking at it. 1,000 bucks a month. You can rent a room in a house. Some cheaper. It just depends. There. I mean, all Airbnbs aren't created equal. So there's some for $600. I wouldn't stay in them. But yeah, the one I stayed in one with taxes and everything. The one I stayed in Vegas, really nice house. Like really nice house. Like my Uber driver dropped me off after a game one night. He was like, "Dang, this is a nice house." I kind of got offended because I'm like, "Why you automatically assume I couldn't be staying in a house this night?" No, I'm joking. But he was kind of high too. It was a weird Uber ride. But so yeah, you know. But I paid that much because it was a nice house. It was a really nice neighborhood. It was close by a park. You know, the lady had great reviews, and she actually was super awesome. But I mean, yeah, you can get an Airbnb for $900 a month. You know, if you, it just depends on what you're looking for and the city you're in. MH, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad in the building, thank you. So much love, Tim. Bless up, fam. Blessings to you as well. Thank you. Appreciate the blessings. Thank you. We here. I never train hopped. I wouldn't. You might be, yes, Cool Works, COOLWORKS.com. Check it out. Elvira, what up? The first car I ever bought was one of them big box Chevys. First car ever. I don't tell the exact first car I ever owned because it's one of those personal questions they ask on a lot of like websites and all you know what I mean? Not saying you're fishing for information like that, but it took me about 7 or 8 years on the internet, and then I realized I'm like, wait a second. A lot of people, and there, it actually was somebody one time who was asking like all those questions back to back. They're like, "Hey, what was your first car? Hey, what was this so and so?" And I'm like, "Wait a second, them sound like my bank questions." And I was like, "You know what? From now on, I'm just not gonna give the." Not saying you were fishing for that. It was a box Chevy. It was an old school box Chevy. But you know, when you're on the internet, you don't think about it. Then eventually, like, wait a second, that's all the questions they be asking me down to the bank. Okay, but you had an old school box. You know, I grew up in Atlanta, so that's all we wanted was hoopties. You know, in hindsight, I'm like, why did I spend 2 grand on that? But that's what I wanted. Maxillo. Now I'm gonna get around. You know, on foot, public transportation, Uber. You know. No, I didn't break down, Christine. I sold it. I feel like it was heading in that direction. You know, I feel like it was heading in that direction. uh, Paul, please tell me you're joking, Paul. Paul said, "What website do you use for Airbnb?" Please tell me you're joking, Paul. Please, Paul. Please tell me you're joking. Like, please. Oh man. What up, Blue Magnetic Storm? East St. Louis in the building. Desert Map got 2 cars. Okay. Yeah, yeah, Matt. I'm probably just gonna go. Like, I enjoy the freedom of not having a vehicle when I didn't have one. Like, I went. Like, it was so funny. I remember one time at work a few years back before I bought a car. This kid at work was like, "Why don't you just save your money up and like get a car?" Little young kid, you know. And I was like, "I have the money to buy a car now if I want one." And he was like, "Well, then why did you don't get one?" And I was like, "I don't want one." And then when I wanted one, I went and got one. Actually, I got two in 2020. But it was just weird that like that blew my mind because he was like, if you can have a car, why wouldn't you have one? And I'm like, sometimes I just don't want one. You know, like I enjoy not having to worry about like, oh, I got to call tomorrow, cancel my car insurance. Um, but I enjoy that freedom. There is some freedom that comes with the vehicle, obviously, but there's some freedom that comes with not having one. And I'm kind of looking forward to a while of experiencing the freedom of not having one. And it's going to make me have to like travel more. Hey, no problem, Static. Nice meeting you. Craig, I'm with you, Craig. Roof over my head, food, my laptop. Let's go. Which honestly, I need a new laptop when I think about it. Christine, actually, it's not my plan to buy a new car. So I'll probably put that money towards, travel expenses. Yeah, and driving, that is one thing too, actually. I'm glad you mentioned that. I forgot to mention that. As I was driving around here in these Denver streets, every day it was something. And I'm like, I'm tired. Some of the biggest stress in my life comes from driving. When I'm taking road trips and, driving 6 hours straight and like, which I'm blessed that my car allowed me to do that. But like, or I'm driving around town, so much stress. I could be having a totally stressful free day. I drive down there to the Dunkin' Donuts. Somebody cuts me off. I'm just like, you know what? I want to do it out that for a while. Let somebody else do the driving for a while. Yeah, I can travel wherever, out the country. I ain't got to worry about where to park the car and how much it's gonna cost and all this stuff. What up, AJ? Daniel, I sold it. I sold it. Yeah, Ace. The plan is to head back overseas. I really want to start visiting some of the digital nomad expat places and like exploring them and like chronicling, because I feel like that's a move now. A lot of people thinking about leaving the United States. So I'm like, why can't I be the guy that goes to some of these places and stays for a little bit and talks about them? I feel like that's a natural progression on the channel. Minimalism, seasonal work. Let's talk. Maybe let's do a little more travel stuff. So yeah, we're going. If I can get to 3 countries in 2024, I'd be happy. Um, but I'll probably, now I have a reason to stay longer because when I come back to the States, like I don't got no car. You know what I mean? So, what up, Dylan? What is happening with my chat here? Jim, um, that is a great question. I should do a video about that. When you asked, is Uber reliable when you have like a really early flight? So I've done that in Denver and I didn't have a problem. but you also can reserve an Uber. So there's the possibility, yeah, there might not be anybody up at 3 a.m. But in a bigger city, I feel like people are. And if you want to hedge your bets, you can reserve one, which I would reserve it. Say you needed to leave the house at 3:30. I would reserve the Uber for 3. So if that person wakes up and is like, I don't feel like doing that, you still have time to call another one. That's what an Uber driver recommended because I had that discussion with him. I was like, dang, I didn't know anybody. It was like 4 o'clock. I went to the airport. I was like, I didn't know anybody be up this early. And he was like, yeah, some of us like to drive this shift. It's peaceful. Most people are going to the airport. I was like, I thought about reserving one. And he was like, that's an option. But he was like, some people don't totally bank on it because he was like, people will get up and be like, I don't want to wake up and go do this for $33. So he was like, just kind of remember that it might not, you know, don't just bank totally on the reservation. But yeah, in the bigger cities, there's usually some people up doing the airport run. Yeah, that's a great question, Jim. But also, too, something you can do, Jim, and I do this a lot. If I'm curious about a route I'm going to take, I do it a lot for the price. So if I say I'm going to fly somewhere, say I'm going to Myrtle Beach and I want to know how much it's going to be from, Myrtle Beach to my hotel or whatever, from the airport to my hotel, I'll plug that in before I even go. And then if I'm curious about the time of day and if anybody's going to be driving, I'll set my alarm and I might wake up if it's going to be like early in the morning or something or late at night. I might set my alarm and plug it in at that time, before, you know what I mean? And just see. If I know a month from now I'm gonna be somewhere and I'm gonna need a ride at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, I'll set my alarm for 2 a.m. on a Tuesday this week, plug it in, and see how much activity's going. So that's little things I do just to see how Uber is in the area I'm going to. Yeah, I've been to Thailand before. So yeah, I've been to Bangkok. I've been to Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai was I liked Bangkok a lot more. Chiang Mai was cool, but like Bangkok was like exciting. There's a lot going on in Bangkok. Obviously, it's one of the biggest sin cities in the world. If you're into, there's a lot more to Bangkok too. But like it was just Bangkok had that vibe of like stuff going on. Chiang Mai was more like, I mean, I was there, but Bangkok seemed cooler. Sorry to hear about your car, Christine. That's how it happens. You pay it off, and then that's what I always say. Jamie, yeah, you can turn down a job after you create the onboarding. Yeah, just don't show up, or just call them and tell them you're not coming. Yeah, actually, I would call or email and tell them you're not coming. Yeah, I mean, what can they do? I went to Canada, Justin, when I was like a kid, like 5, so I don't count it. Yeah, Christine, did they cut you that insurance check? Hopefully. But yeah, I know I had a little years ago. I had this Toyota truck, little small Toyota pickup. Those things are a monster. Those things will run forever. That truck would probably still be running if some drunk college kid down in Gainesville hadn't ran into my back end, and it was kind of on me because she was like, they didn't give her a ticket. This is what happens when you being petty. Little side story, ladies and gentlemen, to show you what happens when you being petty. Because sometimes the universe, God, is trying to send you blessings, and you too angry and petty to pick up on them, to accept them. So I'm sitting at the stoplight. The girl stops behind me, like a ways behind me, and then she thought the light changed, so she just went. This is how drunk she was. She was already stopped. She thought she saw the light change. She just ran into me. Um, and so they didn't give her a ticket. Obviously, she had money. Um, and we exchanged insurance information, but I think she called me the next day, I think her dad called me, and he was like, hey, how much do you want? because I don't want to like report this to the insurance, is make my daughter's insurance. I'm sure she had a lot of accidents. Um, and I was being petty because I was mad she didn't get a ticket. And I was like, no, I want to go through the insurance. And of course they totaled it because it was like a, 10, 15-year-old truck. It wasn't that messed up. I could have, it was drivable. But since I reported to the insurance, they was like, it's totaled, bring it to us. We'll give you your check. I think they gave me like $1,200. I could have told the dad, give me $2,500 right now. I promise you, he'd have been like, cash, check, bullion. What do you want? You know what I mean? But I was being petty and I ended up losing out. I could have had money and my truck, but no, I wanted her to get in trouble. That was on me. That was a life lesson I learned. I was like, never, not doing that no more. What up, TLE? Blessings. Chaz, I do not have an apartment. No, I don't have a dwelling actually. What is the word I'm looking for? A permanent dwelling. India in the building. How you doing? October 25th. That's an interesting username. Life of Ram from October 25th. Okay, let's go. Oh, can they deny your job after the onboarding process? Why would they? I mean, they could, but why would they? Like, I mean, what's the scenario? I mean, if you've done onboarding and if they've sent you a job offer, you've done onboarding, I think you're good. What's the backstory here? No, I'm pretty sure, Chris, that it would have worked out if I took the money because I was being petty, and it doesn't pay to be petty. I was being hateful. I'm like, I want her to pay. I was being vengeful, and that's not an energy that like good things are going to happen. When you have that type of energy, good things are not going to grow from that. However, if I just been cool and been like, hey, she made a mistake. Was she inebriated? Yes, but she made a mistake. Let me just get this check. If I just be like, hey, I understand you don't want your daughter's insurance to go up. I know how that is. This is how much I think the truck is worth, or whatever. But I was being petty. So that's how I know it would have worked out better, probably, if I took the money. But, I learned the lesson. I learned a lesson. How much caffeine do I drink a day? I don't count. I just drink. Recently, I've been drinking like extra large from Dunkin' Donuts every day. So, oh, Jamie, I'm sure you're in at the Y. You're in there. You're in there. You was probably in there as soon as you submitted the application. I can't wait till you get there, Jamie, and you see some of the people you can be working with, and you can be like, why was I worried? You gonna be like, why was I worried? Riggs man, I don't think day trading is my lane. I don't think I have the capital necessary to start doing that. And day trading is a little too risky for me. Uh, yeah. Yes, I sold my car. That's the recap. I sold it. Yeah, in a nutshell. What up, Jennifer? Yeah, I mean, I feel like day trading is one of those things that there are hardcore real investors who are like, I'm not even messing with day trading. So I think it's one of those things that sounds very sexy. And I think a lot of people might do some day trading, but like, yeah, I'm seriously skeptical if like the amount of people who say they day trade are actually day trading. Just because every now and then you buy something one day and sell it 2 days later, that doesn't make you a day trader. But some people have figured it out. Not saying you can do it. but I don't think it's you know, my lane. That's a good point, Carol. Maybe what I did kept her from. Maybe she got in trouble and kept her from running into somebody else. That's a good point, Carol. That is a good point. Yeah, Rich, I sold my car. We are carless. I actually looked out the window earlier because when you're in a hotel, you always look out the window checking on your car, and I'm like, oh wait, I ain't got no car, which is actually pretty cool. I like that feeling. Craig, I have worked Walmart before. I worked Target before. I worked at Dollar General before. Yeah, I've worked retail before. Yeah, lady, we let that Prius go. Yeah, Amir. Yeah, these stories you hear on the internet about people making all this money day trading or doing forex or all this other stuff. uh, I'm very skeptical. Hey, Judy, thank you, Judy. Super Chat Squad. Thank you so much, Judy. Says here's to not being paid. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a good reminder. I'm telling you, certain energies you put out. Thank you so much, Judy. I appreciate that love. Appreciate the support. Certain energies, man, they just not helpful. It hurts you in the long run. Like that taught me a good lesson. Any solution from being poor and unhappy? Yes, but it's a long-winded answer. Um, I always start with gratitude though. So if I'm in a space I don't want to be in, I start with what am I grateful about in the space I am in now, and we absorb that for a while. Then it's like, where do I want to be, and then start working towards it. Um, but that would be a very. I wish I could answer that question in a minute, but I would say start with gratitude. Um, Priusless, it's the end of an era. End of an era. David, you never driven a car? Oh, got you. Alvin, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you so much, Alvin, for the continued support. Said, hey, Tim, have you ever encountered, where'd it go? Hitchhikers asking you for a ride? If so, how do you handle it? I enjoyed your Money Myth video. Thank you, thank you. Uh, Back when I lived in Florida, I feel like there was some, I would see it, I lived in the town, it was like one of the first towns you came to on 75. And so a lot of people, once you came into Florida, so there'd be a lot of hitchhikers there. And every now and then I pick somebody up, give them a ride, maybe stop somewhere, depending on the state they're in, grab them a soda, bag of chips, whatever. Um, but I don't do that much anymore, simply because that's not, once again, I feel like everything that's an option, you don't always have to do. So I feel like these days I'm just not as comfortable, especially in bigger cities. Maybe like a smaller town or something. I don't know, but like in bigger cities where there's a lot of people, yeah. So yeah, I don't think these days I would really like if I'm on the interstate and I see somebody broke down or something. That's different. But my thing is kind of like if you decided to get out there and hitchhike, then like that's your decision. If somebody's walking, like I said, a car broke down or something, that's different because they need my help. So I'd consider it. But if you decided you wanted to hitchhike, if I don't feel comfortable picking you up, I don't. That's not my. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel bad about that. Like you know. What up, Javier? Thanks again, Alvin. I mean, Riggs, man. If day trading something you want to try out, I say go for it. I say go for it. Um, but just once again, the experts that I listen to when it comes to investing, most of them are like, it's not worth the risk unless you have a decent amount of money to start with. You know, and not saying you don't, but like so many the people I listen to are just like it's not even worth it. Like, it, anytime you're trying, like I don't really chase quick money. Like my investment strategies. And, yeah, I just. But I mean, if you want to go for it, go for it. Go for it. Please do. Rob said I did some day trading. It takes a lot of money. I made good money until I did not. Facts, facts. And I'm like, I don't think that's my lane. See you later, Chris. Yeah, CarMax will buy your car quick. You know what I mean? Because like they have they have such a large pool of buyers, not to mention wholesalers, that they slap that thing up on their database, and I'm sure there's somebody at a CarMax somewhere looking for a Prius under $10,000. So they'll run it to their service department, do what they need to do to fix it. You know, Obviously they get great prices on parts because they probably buy. I mean, they're a huge company, so that they'll have that car sold in a week if they're trying to sell it to a private seller, or they'll just send it to a wholesaler. You know, um, and even if they lose money on the wholesale deal, I guarantee they make. Overall on. So yeah, to them that's an easy transaction. That's a no brainer. Yeah, Amir, that'll have you enslaved. Hey, see you later, Static. Yeah, no more car live streams. That hasn't really hit me. That hasn't really hit me that I won't be able to do the car live streams anymore. But one thing I'm good at is pivoting. You know what I mean? Tips on how to travel for free. I don't know how to travel for free, Paul. I personally have never done that. Yeah, it that's where my disposable goes. I don't believe in good karma anymore. I've always believed in karma. Always, yeah. Well, I don't know if I say always, but I believe in karma. Yes. Oh, was that in response to the hitchhiking? Um, I believe that like the good I do today will come back to me in the future. The bad I do today will come back to me in the future. If I'm in a situation where I don't do anything because I feel like I don't need to do anything, what's the karma? It's not good. Like what? I didn't do anything, so nothing's gonna come back to me. Somebody decided to hitchhike. I realized I didn't feel comfortable picking them up. That'd be like if I walked up to you and said, "Give me $50," and you said, "No, I'm not gonna give you $50, Tim." Does that mean you're gonna get bad karma? No. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I don't think there's any negative karma associated with not doing something. And like if I'm not comfortable doing it, I don't really want the good karma that might come from it. Hey, see you later, Desert. Ricky, I sold my car. A hitchhiker put out a knife on your mom, Ashley? Yeah, yeah. Washingtonian. I mean, the cool thing about my lifestyle is I can dictate where I live, so I just make sure stuff is in walking distance. Next place I go, I'll just make sure there's. You really just need like grocery store. Me, I need a wing place. I need a Chinese restaurant, a wing place, and a grocery store in walking distance. Um, Anything else I can kind of Uber to. Oh, actually, yeah, I feel like I got a fair price at the CarMax. Like I was saying earlier, I'm not one of these people who's like, I need to get Kelly Blue Book. I need to no. Like I got the car paid for itself 5, 6 times over, like literally. From the videos I did in it, the live like if they had given me $3, I would have been $3 up. You know what I mean? That car has done so much for me. So, there was I was like, if they offer me this much, I'm taking it. And they offered me over that, so I'm like, cool. Yep, no surprise car repair bills. Which I gotta say, with that car, I took care of it. I did my maintenance. If there was something that was broken, I fixed it. But it never really was a situation where I was like, man, this car is killing me. It wasn't in the shop a lot. It never broke down. Like there were times when I'm like, ooh, something's off, and I take it to the shop, and they're like, oh, you need to replace this. Um, but it never broke down on me. And I kind of like exiting stage right before that happened. Like I like the fact that I had it 3 years. It was an amazing car. And then now I've moved on to another chapter. What's crazy? I'd been thinking about getting rid of the car, and I hadn't said anything to it. So today I was like, Tim, that's dirty. Like you got to tell the car you're getting rid of it. So today I was coming back from the post office or something, um, and I had the discussion, and I was like, hey, you probably been feeling. I was talking to the car. I put my hand on the dash. I do this. I put my hand on the dash. I said, thank you. I said, I know you probably been feeling a weird energy. I said, it's not you. I just feel like our journey together has come to an end. You've been a great car. I hope I've been a great owner. I've always took care of you, like I said I would. I was like, but I feel like I'm about to do some other stuff, and there's some repairs and stuff you probably need done. I'm gonna take care of you by selling you to somebody who can do that for you, and then give you pass you on to somebody else. I literally explained this to the car out loud as I'm driving, hand on the dash, at least in the beginning. Then I had to drive. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to just show up to the CarMax and just drop the car off. The car don't know what's happening. You know what I mean? I believe there's energy in everything, folks. There's energy in everything. So I felt good that, like, I let it know I'm not just abandoning you. You know, it's time. And it might have been like, thank you. I'm tired of him dropping me off at these airports and leaving me here for months at a time. No car likes that. Cars want to be driven. So yeah. Yes, Alvin, I sold the car. Honestly, for some of the stuff I'm trying to do this year, next year, I don't really need it. And I would have just been so even like 2020. Well, when I had my apartment, it was different. But a lot of times when I'm planning trips, the first thing is what am I going to do with my car? And that's what 2024. I'm like, I want to do some stuff, I want some traveling. I'm like, what do I want to do with my car? Where do I want to leave my? There's times I literally drove to Bozeman, Montana, just so I could park my car at the Bozeman airport for 2 months at a time, just because I like that airport. Like, you know what I mean? And at the time, it worked. That was. But I was like, I don't want to have to worry about that going forward. You know, I was just like, it. It really seemed like instead of me making decisions based on what I wanted to do, I was basing a lot of them on like, what am I going to do with the car when I get back? Like, if I left it at the Denver airport, when I get back, it might be snowing. I can't. You know what I mean? There's a lot. I was like, you know what? When I have a possession and it feels like it's starting to own me or it's starting to take up too much of my life, it's time for it to go. And I felt like it was starting on the downturn. And instead of waiting for it to like blow up or whatever, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go get my coins now. So I feel like we're growing apart. It's not you, it's me. uh, Rob, you know me. Like I don't never really say where I'm going. Because I go back and forth in my head a lot. Like literally. If you knew how many, I wish I could show y'all my Delta Sky Miles app. I literally, I have a ticket. I have a flight I need to cancel today that I just bought last night. That I'm like, I'm not doing that. I literally book trips and then cancel them. Because with Delta, they just give you an e-credit. So like I know I'm gonna use the money eventually. So I book flights with no pressure on Delta because you can cancel it. They just give you an e-credit. I use it later. So I love having a ton of money in my Delta e-credit account. But so I don't like to say where I'm going until I'm there because I know me. I'll just be like, no, I'm not going there. So I've had the car since August, July or August 2020. What up, Sama? I do want to use Turo, Q boy. That is, I have never done that. I do want to use that. Yeah, I do want to try that. Which you can rent cars on Uber now, I think. So if I can figure out how to do that, I would probably just rent a car through Uber. Actually, yeah. Like I mean, I'll go places and I'll tell you where when I'm there. You know, I don't mind letting y'all know. But sometimes I'll be like, if I'm working, sometimes I'm a little leery. But yeah, I'll let y'all know where I'm at totally. But before I go, a big part of it is I know me. I might change my mind. So, and I kind of like the just like showing up, and being there. Like, look, I kind of like the surprise. Even though there's some places I go a lot, so people will be like, I mean, I'm sure y'all can guess. I go here every winter, so I'm sure y'all can guess where I'm going to go for a little bit soon. Um, but after that, Cuba, it's just the Delta app. And then if you're a Sky Miles member, it's incorporated in the Delta app. Uh, but yeah, I love it because when they give you e-credits, you can see in the app, like in your wallet, how many credits you have. So, if I book a trip for 300 bucks and I cancel it, they're going to give me an e-credit for 300 bucks that I think is good for 2 years or something. So when I go in my app, I'll be like, oh, I got 300 bucks I can spend on a flight. So I kind of like that. So sometimes I'll do that on purpose just to build up my e-credits. Hey, you're welcome. The other, thank you. Glad to hear that. Yeah, there's different ways to deal with life, and a lot of them I feel like are better. Autonomous communal car society? Nah, I don't think so. No, not for a while. No, we're too. We love our cars too much. The average people are out here paying $700-800 car notes for cars that aren't even supercars because we're so wrapped up in cars. So yeah, I think it'll be a while before we get to that. We love our cars. What up, John? Nah, genius, I'm not lying. I sold the car today. Sold the car today. Jonathan, I think I'm gonna give seasonal work a break for a while. Not saying I won't. Y'all know me. The summer might roll around and I'll be like, man, I'm trying to, but I'm gonna give it a break for a while. It has changed a little bit. And also, as I mentioned in one of my recent streams, I'm a great worker, but a bad employee, a horrible employee, I think was the word I used. Horrible, yes. So I think I'm gonna take some time and really focus on doing my own thing. I feel like as blessed as I've been with this content creation thing, I feel like I can do even more. I feel like I've been being a little lazy, honestly. So we gonna try that for a while. So Jim, I appreciate the question, but like I'm not gonna answer that. I can't answer that. If someone was like, "Hey, where do you keep all your important stuff in your house?" You know what I mean? Um, so I will say this. I think about that security, all that stuff more than the average person probably because I am a nomad. So I have definitely have places for all that stuff. Um, yeah, not. I mean, actually, yeah. Glad you like the shirt. Thank you. Who was that? John? Yeah, cars are crazy expensive. People still buying them. You know what I mean? F Doctor, I wouldn't say I'm a great investor. I'm a good saver. I mean, I was just working. I was just working a week ago, so. Says Trump, I'm carless because I sold the car. Time to move on. D Kidder, I definitely feel lighter. I definitely feel lighter without a vehicle. Totally. Totally. Dude, I mean, like now there's nothing. I can go where I want now. Like, you know, the car's cool because you can hop in the car and go wherever you want, whenever you want. But like, you also got to keep coming back to that. You're also anchored to the car. It's like an anchor. So if when I'm living, in the real world, apartment, whatever, cool. But like when I'm trying to, be making some moves, it's easier to not have a car. Genesis, you don't need your car either. Sell it. No. I've Amtraked cross country. I don't know if I've done it for an extended period of time, but I've Amtraked. I went from Seattle to Washington D.C. before. That was a trip I liked because I wanted to go from one coast to the other. So that was pretty cool. Um, so it was that 3 4 days. But I stopped in Chicago along the way. But that was a cool trip. Daniel, I quit my last job because well, I shortened my contract and then I left. I don't like to say I quit that one. I went in and shortened my contract, but I was bored. I get bored. I'm a horrible employee. I get bored. I don't have the long term. Let's do this forever mentality. I was bored. Like it was fun to go back, see my friends, spend time with them. Once I'd done that, I was kind of like, I was like, I'm gonna go do something else. Melvin, thank you. Glad you liked the videos. Thank you. Ashley, Brittany taking a half of next year off. Nice, nice, nice. Jonathan, I made payments on the pre. I paid it off beginning of 20. When did I pay it off? I paid it off in like February of 2023. So that's this year. I paid it off the beginning of this year. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I wish everybody, like every city, had like good mass transit like that, because then I think a lot more people would be like, you know what, I don't need this car. Um, but yeah, it's by design that we have horrible public transportation in this country. It's by design. You can Google it. It's by design. Back in the 20s and 30s, all the car companies and the rubber companies, because tires, all the companies that are gonna made a ton of money off cars started buying up a lot of the public transportation systems around the world, around the country, excuse me, and like putting them out of business. Google it. And so that's why the US has like the worst public transportation in the world. F Doctor, I'm interested in like this content creation. And then beyond that, if things go according to plan, no other type of work. But I know me, I don't know. couple months from now, I want to do something, but I'm trying to do this content creation for now. What up, Jacob? Facts. Garrett, I'd be like, I gotta do this why am I showing up here? For what? Like, I always say, like, when there's no fires left to put out, when there's no, no excite, like, why am I here? Some of us just aren't cut out for it. Um, I feel like Jim, my friends were surprised. More back in the day when they was like, you make any money off that? And I was like, yeah, they cut me a few coins. People were surprised, like, because back in the day there was no money to be made on internet. So, but these days it's kind of common knowledge. But back in the day, people were kind of surprised, like, oh, you actually make money off doing that stuff? That's why I be telling people, y'all on here posting on Facebook every day for free. You might as well post on YouTube, TikTok, make some coins. People don't listen to me. Okay. Hey, appreciate you saying that. 436. I blessed. Hashtag blessed. I don't take it for granted. Which is why I was like, I need to be doing more traveling while I have the opportunity. Because the day will probably come or could come when I can't. You know what I mean? So describe exactly. America shows you what it's about. Could we have some of the best public transportation in the world? Yes. Do we want to have it? Apparently not. You know what I mean? Karen, sorry to hear about your harrowing day on public transportation. I sold my car. So yeah, it's time for it to go. I don't say that negatively, but like I just feel like for the moves I'm trying to make, the car just wasn't a fit anymore. Love you too, fun. Thank you, Paris Dream. Thank you. So keep going with your content creation, setting the goal leads you to it. Abundance will follow. Yes, I believe that. I firmly believe that. So thank you. Do I believe in living every day like it's your last? Yes and no. I believe in living every day with the realization that it could be your last. That it could possibly be your last. But I don't believe in living every day like totally believe in living every day like it is your last. Because if it was your last day, you would do some craziness. So I say live every day with the realization that it could be your last. You know what I mean? That's why I try to live. But I mean that all almost that kind of comes down to acceptance. So that doesn't always dictate your actions. It's just more like acceptance. Chandler, nice to hear. Sold a car you didn't need, debt free now. Yes, go tall. That's amazing. That is amazing. Love to hear that. Shout out to you and wifey. That's amazing. That's amazing. I gotta get to Switzerland. That public transportation there. I didn't think about that. Yeah, can't get pulled over by the police now. I mean, I guess you can't get pulled over walking, but that's not pulled over. I guess that's pulled up on. Cyan's good, Jonathan. I literally was talking to him today. I'm hoping before I leave here, me and him can hang out again. Maybe this weekend. Brent, no, I've never tried a nicotine patch. I never smoked, so. Alignment. Sorry to hear you've been feeling down lately. Sorry to hear that. Any tips on staying positive? My thing is this: I try to stay as positive as I can be at any moment. So there might be times when if I'm down here, I might only be able to be like this positive, as opposed to if I'm up here, I might be like positive. So my thing is just I try to stay as positive as I can be in whatever moment I'm in. And sometimes it's okay to feel a little down, just with the knowledge of pretty soon I'm gonna be feeling good again, or I'm not gonna allow this to be permanent, you know. But just I try to focus on positive things. Sometimes if I'm down, I'll watch stand up comedy all day or for a while. It makes me laugh, puts me in a different mood. I might call somebody. I pull out my gratitude gorilla and practice gratitude. Gratitude gorilla is an actual thing. That sounded crazy if you didn't know that, but it's an actual toy gorilla. That sounds crazy too, but you know, uh, I just try to do little mental exercises to get in a positive mind frame and stay as positive as I can in that moment until the funk wears off, and then I can be even more positive. Andrew, I don't think I'll be getting another vehicle soon. No, no. For one thing, in order to, because I don't know if I got another vehicle, honestly, I would probably finance it just like I did the last one. And you have to have like a home base to do that. And I don't have a home base. So where do you sleep at the airport? You can sleep anywhere at the airport. I've done it before. I remember I was flying out of Washington, D.C. one time, and it was like a 6 o'clock flight. Um, and I think I was leaving out of, was it, whatever airport I was leaving out of, it was like a 45-minute drive. So if the flight leaves at 6, I need to be there around 4:30. That means I need to leave sometime 3 something. And I was like, and I'm not used to that area. And I was like, I don't want to be in an Uber at 3 o'clock in the morning for 45 minutes going through Washington, D.C. So I just took, at like 8 o'clock, like, or it was getting dark later. Yeah. So like at 8 o'clock, I called the Uber the night before, 8 p.m. the night before. And I just took the Uber to the airport while it was light outside the night before. And then I just found a seat at the airport and just like slept. Like, I walked around some for a while, and then when it got real quiet, the airport is actually like one of the best places to sleep, especially if like you can get if you've already gone through TSA and everything. Um, because then you can go to a gate and just post up. I mean, the only people there are like people working there or people waiting on flight, so like it's pretty chill. Like the airport late night, nobody's there. 2 o'clock in the morning, the airport, nobody's there. You just find a place to plop down, and they're not gonna bother you. If somebody comes up, you're like, I got a flight leaving at 6. Like, so yeah, 24-hour airport, you just find somewhere to post up, and a lot of people, some people sleeping on the floor, you know. Or if the seats allow you to lay out, people will lay out on the seats, or people just sleep on the floor in the corner. Like, they know you're just waiting for a flight. Daryl, how's it going? Where am I at in the stream? Oh, here we go. It's possible to live in hotels. Yeah. Yeah, I might. I don't know what Cyan's got going on. I probably won't get to do an update video with him this time, but I'll think about it. Yeah, I do want to do one. NYC is gonna start charging people to enter certain area. Mark, you know me. I work in hotels, so I don't. I mean, it depends. Are there some motels that are? Um, but I'm sure there's some. There's some that aren't. Like and there's a difference between a motel and a hotel. I'll be honest with you. I'm more of a hotels guy. Motels are. I mean, it just depends. It just. I mean, I would. You can just go by there, and some motels you can drive by and be like, nope. Um, or you can just go up there, talk to us. Hey, I'm thinking about staying here. Pretty. What is it like? You know. Daryl, no, I don't. This doesn't mean Greyhound's coming back. I don't think. No, unless like I have to. Goddess, like for me, if I get bored of the job, I don't feel any obligation to tough it out because why? Like why? Now, if I was working towards something at that job, yeah, maybe. But yeah, why? I feel like that's one of those things that society puts on us. Oh, you just need to stay there and tough it out. For what? You know? Now, if you're like, oh, I need the benefits, okay. Oh, I'm trying to retire from here, okay. But like, even that stuff you can find in another job. Hey, 133 official, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you so much, thank you. So please leave a like for abundance is free. I appreciate the support and you saying that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry it took me so long to get to that. I mean, yeah, you have to. You can't sleep in the airport unless you're getting on a flight, which is why I like sleeping at the airport because I know everybody there is getting on a flight. Now, at the Denver airport, when you first walk in the door, sometimes they'll let people sleep when it's cold. Sometimes, but to get back in the gates, you gotta have a ticket, so it's safer. Yeah, I didn't sleep in the main terminal. Nah. Q-Boy, I mean, that's the beauty of like the airport is, I mean, yeah, you got to protect your stuff at all times. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, once you've gone through TSA at the airport, who's stealing from you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's nobody there, and there's a lot of like cleaning crew going on. I mean, you of course have to scope the situation out, but yeah, the likelihood of somebody risking a Fed charge to sneak up on you at 3 in the morning in the airport and rifle through your bags, especially when you're going to wake up immediately, is not very likely. Like yeah, I mean, there's cameras, there's like you're gonna yeah, unless you're like a heavy sleeper. Yeah, man, end of an era. Uber needs trucks for dogs and lawnmowers. Okay. All right. James, I appreciate the concern, but like I wanted to go carless. Like I didn't have to sell a car. So and the beauty of my lifestyle is, to your point, I can be in a walkable city tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like so, like here, Denver is it has like really good public transportation. So I got some errands I'm gonna run tomorrow. Just and Uber has changed the game. So like, you can go anywhere. So yeah. But yeah, it was by choice. So yeah, man. Yeah, don't sleep at the subway. Don't sleep at the Greyhound station. Avoid Dallas Fort Worth Airport. Why, John? Health. Yeah, motorcycle. Like honestly, I don't need a form of transportation right now. So I'm looking forward to not having it. A motorcycle would be the same thing. I would be tied to that. Anytime I went somewhere, I'd have to come back for you know what I mean? So like the goal right now is to be carless. So yeah, I don't think a motorcycle would work. Brent, I can honestly say these days, when very few people offer me a drink these days, but when they do, no. I was like, I'll go on like the alcohol aisle looking for, or I'm walking, yeah, like, I'll walk down the alcohol aisle. There's not even the slightest bit of, it's all beer, wine. I don't, yeah, these days I just don't, I don't want to drink. So now that the cravings and stuff are gone. There's like what, like genuinely, and I feel so blessed that this is how it is for me. If I drink, I know I'm gonna get sick. It's not gonna be worth it, and like I'm gonna have went back on my promises. There's no point. There's no reason. Like there's no upside for a buzz. I'm good. You know what I mean? So like yeah, there's no. I always equate it to a relationship with like a toxic person. When you finally break free, you don't want to go back. Somebody, well, you need to call Tyrone. Be like, why? He was crazy. No, you know what I mean. So like, it's like that. Would be like, I don't. What would once the physical, mental cravings are gone? Like, what would be the point? There's literally nothing. The only time in recent years I ever even entertained it for a few seconds was at like the height of the demic of the pan in 2020, and things were just crazy. And I was like, man, and like it just wouldn't stop. And I was like, man, it'd be nice to have a drink and just drown all this out. And then I was like, nah, you know what I mean? But other than that, like it's yeah, I mean, there's no reason to, you know. Um, I think Uber is a little more expensive. I think. I think it depends on the area too sometimes, but I just, me, I pick a company I stay. I tried Lyft once and the app didn't work the way I wanted to. I said never again. Praveen, and James, I sold my car today. I took it into CarMax, sold it. Get to cancel my car insurance. Don't gotta. Have I noticed any areas that decreased in safety? Mm, not really. I don't think. Not any of the areas I go to. I don't think so. What indoctrinated people? What do I think of people indoctrinated by others' gifts for Christmas? You know what I mean? Like I don't judge, so I get it. I don't do it, but like I get it. Once it's the programming. For some people, losing their car driving, I can see that. Fred, that's the plan. That's the plan, Fred. We're gonna try to do some trips this year, and like honestly, not having the car makes me more likely to do those. Because now I need some cheap places to stay. Daryl, you still call cabs? Okay, like I don't trust cabs. I trust Uber. I don't trust cabs. I'm the exact opposite. I don't know that cabbie. Hey Praveen, thank you, Super Chat Squad. Thank you so much, Praveen. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate the love, the continued support. Um, Someone asked if I have any sponsorships. Not currently. I was in talks with a potential sponsor, but I'm very stubborn, and if it being my first sponsorship, there was just a level that I felt needed to be hit financially, and they came close, but no, So I do plan on 2024 trying to work on that more, but I'm going to be very picky about who I work with, and I know what I feel my worth is. Maybe it's not my worth, but I know what I feel my worth for my channel is, and I'll just wait until I find that. I mean, it was a super cool company, and they were very nice, and I loved negotiating with them, but it just didn't. They didn't get to where I needed them to get to. And y'all know me. Levels have to be hit. It yeah. It was a nice offer, but I just, it wasn't. I say no. A lot of people don't say no. You flash money in their face, they'll do it. No, I'm just like, yeah, well, ever considered a car auction? Like, I used to work for a guy who bought cars from auctions and resold them. Bro, you know how many times? Because, like, I would go up there with him and he'd buy a bunch of cars and I'd help him drive them home. You don't want to go that route. No. You know how many cars I've had blow up on me or I'm telling you, barely make it home? Nah, you don't want to do them auction cars. James, I'm not in Estes Park anymore. Honestly, Estes Park is not a good place to not have a car, but I'm not there anymore. Hey, appreciate the offer, Mud, but I'm trying to I'm gonna embrace being carless. The hat brand? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I know. I know some people aren't. Even as a viewer myself, when I watch other people's channels, sometimes when the sponsorships get too much, I'm like, ugh. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm gonna be very picky with it. And if I am going to lose some people because of it, well then, I need to be compensated for that. So, but honestly, I'm just looking for like one good sponsor that fits with the channel, the message, that makes sense. And I'll be good. Yeah, I wasn't Estes for a while, James, but I got bored. Jonathan, that is something that I am actively going to work on more because you do get lonely traveling alone. That was part of the reason I went back to Estes Park for a couple months was, I was chilling in Salt Lake City. It was fun, but I'm like, I was bored. Not bored, but like I was lonely. I need to be around some people. So that is something I'm gonna have to figure out is how to travel solo, but have people to interact with on a regular basis because it can get to you. What up, Angela? A 90-minute wait at the tire shop. Any advice on how to kill time? I just take walks. Like if I know I got a long walk if I got a long wait at the tire place or whatever, the mechanic, I'll just walk around. I'll just walk 30 minutes, turn around, come back. That's what I usually do. Water Dragon gonna get that CDL and live in the truck. Cool. Yeah, the chat's looking good, Angela. The numbers looking good tonight. Thank y'all. Yeah, Coolworks would be the perfect sponsor. And I'll be honest, they had reached out years ago and be like, hey, if you want to work together, you know, if you got any ideas, I never got back to them. So honestly, I'm thinking about putting together some videos about seasonal work or short-term travel jobs, and then just like emailing them and be like, hey, I've already done the work. Would you like to be a sponsor? And they're a company that I probably wouldn't charge them since that, I mean, like they've done so much for me. I'd probably give them a discounted rate on the sponsorship just because I believe in that company. But yeah, I'd love to work with Coolworks. I just haven't done the work. That one's on me. I just haven't done the work. Hey, Jenny Pie, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad said, hope your day is going great. It is, it is. It's going amazing. Sold my car, live streaming with y'all. I got some Chinese food. I went back to the Chinese place that I used to go to across from my apartment when I lived in Denver. And the lady recognized me. I haven't been in there in forever. And she was like, they call me Tom because the first time I met her, she was asking my name, and so she calls me Tom. She was like, Tom, haven't seen you in forever. Long time no see. I was like, wow, she recognized me. So I had a great day today. And went by the Target. You know, I had a great day today. Thank you so much for the love, the support. Thank you. Thank you, Jenny Pie. Hey, we got a super chat train. Reed coming right behind. Thank you. That's love. It says, Tim, why do you think people put all their eggs in one basket and rely on income from a job instead of building multiple streams of income? I think because it's hard to do. Okay, let me first. I think that's what we're taught to do. Just get a good job. Nobody ever says go to school, build up multiple streams of income. People say go to school, get a good job. And you look around and most people you know just have one job. So that's why people do it. Also, as much as it's talked about on the internet these days, building multiple streams of income is hard. It's hard to come up with one good stream of like income. It's hard to come up with a job that pays you for a lot of people, which you're worth. So, and then to come up with multiple profitable streams of income, it's actually pretty hard to do. If you can get one good side hustle, hey, I work my job and then I do this. That's a blessing. That is one of the areas of the internet where people definitely try to make it seem easier than it is. Oh, just build it. You need seven streams of income. You know, but I mean, it is possible. It is doable, but I think it's hard, and I think that's why a lot of people don't even try. And also because like it's just not. You either get the online finance gurus, seven streams of income, or you get people, get a job. There's no one in the middle being like, hey, you know, if you did Instacart on the weekends, you can make an extra $200 a week. You know, just like real multiple streams of income, you know. Hey, Praveen coming through as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Thank you, Praveen. And thank you, Ree. As well as Jenny Pie. I set goals, Paul. I'm pretty lenient and lax with myself with my goals though. Because I find that anytime I set a goal and I'm just like, get it, like I get all stressed out and anxious, I don't do it. So I'll set goals and just be like, you know, when we get to it, we get to it. And those are the goals I usually get to. Sometimes I get to them and don't even realize I got to them. I'm like, oh snap, I did say I was going to do this. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty, you know, I'm a firm believer. I do my part. Universe, God, the source does his part. So it's just kind of, I try to have goals, but without the pressure, you know? Hey, thanks, James. Yeah, Kevin, you know I got shrimp fried rice and beef fried rice. They already knew, like literally. So I walked into the Chinese place. The lady, I think she's the owner or whatever. She's like, "Hey Tim, hey Tom, how you doing?" And she was like, her and her husband were having an argument. So she like, I think it's her sister. She was like, "Oh, she'll help you today. I'm busy or whatever." Not rudely, but like you know. And so her sister went right to the register and she was like, beef fried rice? And I was like, and shrimp fried rice. And she was like, they already know. I order the same thing every day, like every time I go. Falcon, I appreciate that virtual hug. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate the compliments. Trade job. I'm with you, Khadija. Trade. That's enough. If people were like, hey, now's the time to get into trades, people would do it, but nobody says it. They're still trying to send kids to school for coding, even though AI is coming. Praveen, I've never done Uber or Lyft, no, because I ain't trying to drive around. I don't like driving, so I definitely don't want to drive around with strangers. You know? Oh, I don't mind, Angela, especially for you. Um, I just was noticing that a lot of the things I wanted to do in 2024, the big question was like, what am I going to do with my car? Not to mention, too, it had that oil leak. I took it to the mechanic. They were like, yeah, that's some head gaskety stuff. You're probably better off just driving it till it blows up. So I felt like, whereas before it was like a really, the trajectory of the car's health was kind of, and I felt like it was going downward. And then I just been toying with the idea of being carless, you know? Um, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. You know, I just was it felt like I was holding on to it because I was scared to let go of it more than like I needed it. So I sold it. I never delivered with Rody, Q Boy. What happened to all Khadijah's messages? What's going on here? Hold on. Somebody super chatted, but there's no message, so I can't see who it is. Super chat squad. Did somebody super? This is, I don't know. Maybe that's YouTube messing up. Oh, no messages. Oh, that's weird. How do I feel about multi-level marketing? I don't really do them, but that's because I don't want to be involved with no people. But I know some people who do it who seem like they make money, so I don't know. It's just not for me. I don't really have any New Year's resolutions. Live free, die happy. That's I don't know. Yeah, I don't really do New Year's resolutions because it seems like if there's something I resolve to do, why don't I just do it, start doing it now? So there's things I want to do in 2024, but they're not like New Year's resolutions. Wayne, the car had 193,735 miles on it. 193,735. Oh wait, what was I reading? Miles and Caramel Coffee said, I'm a lady trucker with a background in healthcare. I don't want to go back to it. 75K a year is really 48K after taxes. I just left Toppenish, Washington, in Utah, heading for Pennsylvania. Nice, nice. Let's do it. Nice. I never thought about, like, yeah, figuring out how much you actually make after taxes. I feel like we'd all be depressed. Hey, Pure Genius. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you. Says Umbrella Power Upgrade. Hashtag Carlos, we here. We here. I don't really know what that means. Umbrella Power Upgrade. Somebody's gonna have to explain that reference to me. Thank you so much, Genius. Thank you. Pure Genius only. Thank you. Appreciate the love. We here. Hashtag Carlos. Quiet Mistress said, being Carlos is so nice. I'm Carlos. Amtrak and buses are not that bad. Just in some cities, uh, just have to wait a little longer for buses. Yeah, I mean, there's different. I know for me, that's going to be important now when I'm deciding where I want to be. Is like, okay, what's the public transportation like? What's the average Uber cost? Or just find a place that everything needs in walking distance. Car's repo mile, yeah, what happens. My strongest subject in school was probably history because I like history. So, will I stay up to New Year's to midnight on New Year's? No, no, I never stay up to midnight on New Year's. I'll be trying to go to bed and avoid all the craziness. People setting off. I don't want to do it. Yeah, y'all know me. I don't really care for holidays and all that. When I used to drink, yeah, but Daniel said, with let's say a monthly expense of 1,000 a month and getting a seasonal work with room and board and food included, how much you think one could save monthly? I mean, Dan, you'd have to know how much the seasonal job paid, Daniel. So, you know. So I mean, that's the big part of the equation missing. Khadija, I love Amtrak. The problem with Amtrak is that like it doesn't go a ton of places and it doesn't leave from a ton. You know what I mean? So like flying is probably my main option because I mean there's an airport everywhere. But like, oh, are you sure? Cancel. Oh, what did I hit? But yeah, when I can make Amtrak work, I love it. But it's just I kind of have to fit Amtrak into my schedule a lot of times. I have to be like, okay, I want to take Amtrak Because other than that, I mean, it's just too easy to hop on a Delta flight, go wherever you want. So, what up, Alex? How much I generally save when working? I don't really know because like I don't set. I can take it back to like when I worked at Glacier, and I think my checks were what was it? I feel like I was saving like $500 a month or something when I worked at Glacier. That seems about right. So if I had stayed there the whole summer, I'd have left out of there with like $2,500 saved or something like that. I think, yeah. Christian, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for the concern. Yeah, Delta hashtag I only fly Delta. Steven, I don't like driving, so I don't think truck driver would be for me. Not to mention, it's a very serious career. Like, I don't want a serious anything. Like, you got these rules and regulations, and nah, if I'm at work, I'd rather just go work down at the Target. Like I don't know. Yeah, truck driver just seems too serious for me. John, I'll probably stream on Christmas. Yeah, I won't have nothing else to do. Crypto Pimp coming through. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Thank you. Says, hey, Tim, I left. Why does the chat keep disappearing? I left that toxic job 2 weeks ago. I was worried about nothing, especially since I had money saved and no debt. Enjoying myself doing therapeutic hiking here. Here's $10 for the Uber fund. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Thank you, thank you. Facts. Crypto Pimp. Like, and I'm glad to hear you left the job, and I'm glad to hear you realize, like, bro, I'm good. We're not taught that, like, if you got some money saved up and you don't have crazy expenses or crazy debt, it's okay to take some time and just do nothing for a while. We're taught to know, like, you always got to be working, you always got to be saving more, you always got to be investing more, you always got to more, more, more. That's how they keep you in the system, or perpetually locked in the system. But yeah, it's okay if you got coins. I say look at it this way. Say something happened and they fired you from your job. What would you do? You would use your savings to bridge the gap until you got another job. You can fire yourself. Tell you, I know a lot of people who got decent nest eggs. I know a lot of people broke, but I know a lot of people and they won't. They'll say it on here. I got so and so saved up. I'm thinking about taking, and they won't do it. 6 months later, yeah, I'm still working, but next year roll around, I just don't know. It's not their fault. It's the programming. But I'm glad to hear you took the leap. That's awesome. That's awesome. And appreciate that Uber fund money. Thank you. We'll put to good use. Cuba, I have never flown Southwest, and good Lord willing, I never will. I'm a Delta. I'm a Delta man. Once you've flown Delta, it's hard to. When I walk past the people sitting at the gate for Southwest, I take my hat off. I say a little prayer. No, I'm just pretty natural. I sold my car. Yeah, it was time. Stream all night tonight. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, it's pretty random when I go live, Khadija. As is everything in my life. I've been going pretty consistently almost every day now, though. Musa, yeah, man. A serious job, that's too much pressure. I just need a job so I can pay the bills. I don't need all that other stuff. Never experienced flying Spirit either. I can't. Craig, I never drove Uber. The only job I've ever done gig wise is Instacart. It's cool to hear you're considering driving that. One Man Island. How you doing? Yeah, Kevin. There's always that fear. It's a little scary quitting a job, but like it works out. Glad to hear that, Praveen. Thank you, thank you. Uh, Two. Yes. In future, like if I have to take the Greyhound, it's my only option. I'll take it. But that hasn't happened in a while, and I'm glad because I do not enjoy taking the Greyhound. I stopped enjoying taking it. I mean, there's just too much going on the Greyhound. It's cool in hindsight to have stories and stuff, but being trapped, 20 hours going cross country on a Greyhound, it's just not. I'd much rather pay extra money and be where I need to be in 4 hours, 5 hours. It's just not worth it. Like it's not, and it's not even that cheap no more. So yeah, I have no desire to ride Greyhound. Every now and then, I might be like, ooh, I'd like to do that longest look for like video content. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, but just for my in my personal, nah, I have no desire to ride a Greyhound. Like it's just not. There's no upside to it. It's yeah. It's no upside. So yeah, that is true, Angela. Delta doesn't always fly to some of the smaller airports. Yeah, that's true. But that's why I say like there's some places I'm probably not gonna go because Delta don't go. I get it, but yeah, I get it. Instacart was cool, Craig. I actually really enjoyed Instacart. I only did me and Abs. Shout out to my sister Abby. She signed up for DoorDash. I signed up for Instacart. I didn't think we were actually gonna do them, but she called me one day. I was like, "Oh, I just did my first Instacart DoorDash order," and I'm like, "Well, I can't let her do DoorDash and I don't do mine." So I did an Instacart. I think that day or the next day because I'm like, she ain't gonna outdo me, and I actually found I enjoyed it. And then I started doing it more, and I was like, "Well, I can actually make some real money." So I liked Instacart. Ooh, Jay Cortez. I've seen Asiana Air a lot. Okay, they overfed you. Okay, four full Orientals. Dang, okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that recommendation, J Paul. I see Asiana a lot, and I always wondered how they were doing. What up, J4? I mean, Steven, that is one of the main issues people have with kind of my lifestyle, and I admit that yeah, from time to time that does concern me that I don't have health insurance, which I can go on healthcare.gov and get it tomorrow if I wanted to, but and I might, who knows? But I do understand that a lot of people work the jobs they work and stay in situations that they don't really want to be in work wise for the health insurance. And that's crazy to me. And the fact that it's still crummy health insurance. But, my thing for me personally is could something happen that I can't pay for because I don't have health insurance and it's a horrible situation or I can't afford a surgery I need to stay alive or something? Sure. Has that been enough to make me work a job I hated? No. So, but I'm not everybody. And a lot of people have family and other people they need to stay alive for. So there's a lot of other considerations. But for me, I'm just like, but I'm stubborn. That's a big part of it too. I'm very stubborn. You're not gonna tell me what to do. So, but I get that. I get that. I also feel like there is, y'all know me. I believe in, here comes the woo woo hippie talk. I believe in energies and manifestation and all that stuff. And I feel like if you go through life saying, I have to have health insurance in case something happens to me, you're far more likely for that to be true than if you go through life saying, I'm good. And I know some people think that's not true, and I respect their opinions. But for me, I can't go through life making decisions totally out of fear. I believe in making good decisions, wise decisions, but I mean, you got to take some risk. You know what I mean? For me, at least. Cuba, it's Delta just better quality. For me, Delta's better quality. Um, I flew Frontier one time, and I was like, nah, I need to be on like a real airline. So the quality's better. It ain't cheaper, but the quality's better, and I've never had an issue. So if I pick a company and I never have an issue, I just stick with them. That's kind of my one of my mantras in life. I find a company, they do right by me, I stick with them. There might be cheaper companies, there might be flashier company, but I just stick with what's worked for me. What up, Fallout Girl? That's a good point too, Kevin. There's billions of people in the world who have no health insurance. When they get sick, they sick. If they can do it, I can do it. You know what I mean? They get sick. Like there's tons of people who know if I get sick, I will die. That's the reality for probably most of the world. So I'm like, I'm in good company. We gonna be on that chariot together. What got you, boss? Hey, so and so. What got you? Hey, all right. Slide over. We headed to glory together. Oh man. Hey Wong, love you too. Said you inspired me to become a minimalist. Definitely not get married, not have kids. Yes, loving it. Speaking to my soul. I am Lee. I'm carless because I sold my car. That is a great point. You see more without a vehicle. That's a great point, Daryl. Facts, scribe. What we focus on becomes magnified. Like I do the best you can, like Rose says. Leave the rest to the universe. Like I don't, you know, something put all this together and is watching over it. And if that something could put all this together and is watching over it, I think it could figure out how to keep me healthy. Or maybe it decides not to. I don't know. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I do need to start eating healthier, though, I think. Yeah. No, I've never flown American. No. Fallout Girl not having kids either. Yes. I mean, I'm not saying don't have kids. I'm saying don't have kids if you don't want to have kids. Whereas most people are like, just have kids. I'm like, just do what you want. Facts, Nicole. I'm gonna read this so y'all know it's not just me. I'm not just a Delta stan. I am, but Nicole said, with Delta, I appreciate the stability and the consistency. Very dependable no matter where you're at, and the service is always great. Some airlines are hit or miss, depending on the day. Thank you. Same with Delta. I never had no problem. They always took care of me. And that is a great point. Our ancestors didn't have insurance, but like because of that, they ate healthier, different had different remedies and cures that we don't know nothing about anymore because we've been sold on this ideal of going to the ER. But I mean, it's Q boy comfort is better, but Comfort Plus is better, but it's way more expensive. So depending on what your coins is, I never fly Comfort Plus unless they upgrade. Every now and then they'll upgrade me, or every now and then if I'm on like a short flight and Comfort Plus to upgrade is like $20, I might do it. Sometimes you can find you'd be like, ooh, 4 hour flight, $24 to upgrade to Comfort Plus. Or sometimes they just upgrade me for free. Um, but I typically never do Comfort Plus. There's a lot of people now who got a lot of kids. I know a lot of people with lots of kids, but I'm from Florida, so I know some, and I've worked at Walmart, so I see the people coming through with the kids. Um, Jane, I have not considered like a car share or zip car because like I don't really need a vehicle for my lifestyle, kind of, you know. Like if I was in one place and going back and forth to work, whatever, maybe, but like on the road, like I don't really, you know, need it that much. Like if I need to go somewhere, like really need to go somewhere, there's like Uber, you know. You know what's crazy, Alex? I do not sleep well on planes. I'll take a Dramamine and it kind of makes me a little drowsy and I might, but like I don't sleep well on transportation, period. Like I'll stare out the window but like I just don't sleep well on planes. Unless I'm just like there's been times when I was just like dead tired and I like zonked out and I woke up, I heard myself snoring. I woke up, I was like, and I was like, "Ugh," I was like, dang, and you don't want to be snory, slobbery on the plane. You don't want to be that guy. But normally I just kind of, this is what I do on the plane. Because I fly Delta, so you got the TVs with the great movie selection. Nobody talks about that, but Delta has a great movie selection. Sometimes they'll have movies that like low key almost just came out, maybe not just came out, but recently, that haven't made it to the some of the other streaming services for free at least. But I'll start off watching something on my TV, and then I'll turn it off, and then I just watch everybody else's TVs on their seats. I almost never plug my earbuds. If there's a movie I really want to see, I'll watch it. But usually I just like sit there and watch other people's TVs. I watch so I'll just I'm weird. If you were to see me on a flight, you'd be like, this guy's weird. Because either I'm watching other people's TVs or I'm just staring. And like everybody else is like plugged into some type of device or talking. I just be sitting there. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'll just be chilling, you know. I just like being on the plane. I can't wait to get on the plane again. I love the airport. Oh yeah, yeah, there. I'm one of the things living like a more nomadic lifestyle teaches you is like how to pivot. Me and Cyan were talking about this the other day. So you learn to live without permanence. So like this is just yeah, like like this is regular. This is not hard. This is not a hard pivot. I was a little nervous to do it, but like this honestly isn't a hard pivot. Like I've done it. You got lost in the ATL airport, Ashley? Really? It is large. Hey, Sharper Vintage, how you doing? You during the pandemic they were charging for headphones. Now they're free again. They wanted $1 during the pandemic. Now they're free again. I remember when they was charging for headphones. Now they're free again. Interesting. I wonder what that was. Amy Clark, how you doing? That's good water. Yeah, I can't wait to be on a flight again. Tell you, when I'm at the airport, I love it. I love it. I just love it. Everybody's going somewhere. Everybody's doing something. SW, how you doing? I just love that. I know somebody be like, why don't you work at the airport? Wouldn't be the same. Wouldn't be the same. Do they recycle? I don't think they recycle headphones. Everybody keeps them. I don't think they recycle headphones. Nobody keeps them. I mean, everybody keeps them. Nobody turns them back in, do they? Tim for press. Hey, Amy about to eat some Mexican food, then sleep. Got an MRI tomorrow before work. You got a busy day tomorrow. An MRI and then work. I'd be like, hey, I can't come to work. I got an MRI. So y'all gonna have to call Sheila and I can't do it. Props to you. Good luck with all that. Hey, Praveen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad coming through again. Thank you, Praveen. Thank you. I appreciate that love. Thank you. That abundance. And the dancing lemon head guy. I think that's a lemon, or is that a lime? Limes are green? Oh, a lemon. Okay. Angela, you always feel bad for the families that are traveling with kids. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't. You shouldn't have had them. I do feel bad, but part of me just like this is it reaffirms my decision not to have kids because I'm like I'm not. I maybe someone in the chat who's in the situation could explain it. You see people with like 4 kids. I'm like, why would you have 4 kids? And they all young. 1 year old, 2 year old, 5 year. I'm like, it didn't occur to you that you would have to engage in scenarios like this where all 6 of y'all got to go to grandma's in Detroit? Just wanted 4 kids. Kids don't stay kids for that long though. Long enough. They'd be like, Tim, kids are only kids for 2 years. I'd be like, too long. I just don't. I just be looking at people like, and maybe it's because I don't want kids. I don't understand. Just like they don't understand. To them, that's probably normal. They would be like, why would you not want this? But I'm like, is it worth it? You know how expensive it is? If y'all just went down there to the Starbucks, it'd be like $60 to get all y'all coffee. Now I understand 1 year olds don't drink coffee, but that's not the point. But I just like that was what you wanted? Then they can't all sit together because they got their tickets late. So they're asking people, hey, can she sit up here with you or can we change? The kids are kicking the back of your chair. No, I get it. Like some of them didn't plan on having that many kids, but things happen once again. That's on you then. I have to forego certain risks because I don't want kids. I ain't had sex since the pandemic because I don't want kids. I'm not risking it. And I think 2020 got me a little scared of intimacy. I ain't had sex since the pandemic. I'm fine because I don't want kids. I'm not risking it. That's on you. Family with 7 kids, 3 of which you didn't want were accidents. By the way, there can only be one accident. You can't be like 2 of them were accidents. Why is it not finishing my? Cool. I had to block. I took care of that one, Angela. I'm disappointed in the level of trolls these days. I gotta be honest. I'm disappointed in the trolls. Remember back in the day, you used to get premium trolls. People say something that might hit you. Ha! These trolls now, they just fire off random foolish. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with modern day trolls. Autumn, I take Dramamine when I fly. It's for stomach. It's to keep your stomach from getting like queasy, nausea. It's for like nausea. But it also, if you take the original, it makes you sleepy. So I take it for the anti-nausea factors, but it also makes me sleepy. So hey, good to see you, Daisy. You feeling better? Cammy, I have some Chinese food for dinner tonight. Yeah, yeah. Once is an incident, an accident. Twice is coincidence. 3 times is you trying to. You trying to have them kids. Glad to hear you're feeling better, Daisy. Glad to hear that. Yeah, there's no proper trolls. What happened to them? I guess they went other places. I don't know. Poker. Nah, I don't want any pets. I just kind of. I mean, I don't know if run the responsibility, but you see, I just got rid of my car because it was, weighing me down. So I'm definitely not gonna go out and buy a pet that I have to figure out what to do with whenever I want to travel. Yes, I worked at Big Sky winter season 2015. I think. Yeah, I think so. Hey, thanks, Amy. Appreciate the compliment. Thank you. Thank you. Alex, you like that pork fried rice with ribs and fried chicken wings? I get shrimp fried rice and beef fried rice. I'm very basic. Very basic. Jazzy, I sold my car. Yeah, I sold it. Praveen, I never worked at McDonald's, but I did work at Walmart. I haven't worked at fast food yet, but I want to. I want to work at Taco Bell. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Taco Bell looks like a party. Every time I drive by the Taco Bell, they got music playing. There's always somebody out back smoking weed. Free, not that I smoke weed. You know what I mean? It just seems like a party. They don't ever have a uniform on. They wearing whatever they want to wear. Somebody's already got green, always has green hair. The Taco Bell just seemed like a vibe. Seems like a vibe. I'm gonna work there one day. Y'all see? Oh, here's a good one. Angela said, "What do you think about women asking their partner to get a vasectomy since the woman carried the child?" Um, I don't mind her asking, but I think ultimately, like, the decision would be mine. And I think I don't mind her asking if she doesn't mind me saying no. You know what I mean? And I totally respect she would be the one that carries the child, but both of us is the ones having sex. You know what I mean? So like you can't it, we both are grown adults. We can figure out a way hopefully to not have kids other than a vasectomy if I don't want to do it. And if we do end up having kids, you can't just be like, "Oh, it's your fault. You didn't so and so." You know what I mean? So like I don't mind her asking like, "Hey, what do you think about that?" if she don't mind me saying no. And not from you know what I mean? Just because like I wouldn't ask her to do anything, or I might ask, but if she was like, "No, I'm not doing that," cool. Anything with her body, if she's like, "I'm not doing it," respect. So the same with me. Let's have the conversations, but whoever's body it is has the right to say no, even though we are in a relationship. It's still your body. It's still my body. I ain't got no say over that. I don't own you. You don't own me. You know what I mean? That would be my take. Hey, Rice Man, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, appreciate that love. Thank you. Says I'm a truck driver. Wait, but pretty much live the nomadic life, zero regrets, and I love stress free and a whole lot of jealous normal. Hey, that's awesome, Rice Man. Glad you found a a profession you like. That's awesome. That's what it's about. It's about finding something you love that fits with your lifestyle. So if it's not like you found it, you found it, and I just wish that for everybody. Like that's the message is, hey, find something you love or be working towards it if possible. Thank you, Rice Man. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. And appreciate you sharing the story. No, like I don't smoke weed, but like the people at the Taco Bell seem happy. Garrett said, "How do you feel about rent prices these days? Rent's going up. A lot of these companies are. I'm not excited about the rent increases, but I do know eventually they'll come down. So That's what I focus on. Yeah, I've been in love before, Dylan. Yeah, totally. I screwed it up, but yeah, I was in love before. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Hey, Let's Compose sold the car 2 years ago. Yeah, I'm there now. I'm back with you. Thank you, Dolly. I'm back with you. Nicole just said Burrito Supreme. That's the whole comment. Burrito Supreme. Y'all know. Y'all know the rest. Hey, 133. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you. Says anyone who's worked at Taco Bell, no, don't go. As someone who's worked Taco Bell, no, don't go. Oh, okay. Really? Maybe it depends on what Taco Bell. The Taco Bell and Bozeman, they seem like a vibe. But I'll probably take your advice 133. You've been there. There might be something, yeah, but man, you don't even know about that. The gordita drills. You don't even want to know about those. Do they still have gorditas? Who knows? It was a good joke. Thank you, 133. Appreciate that. Super Chat Squad, thank you. Rent prices have gone down before. We had this discussion on a stream before. Rent prices have gone down before. For example, do you think rent prices went up in the Great Depression, World War II? Like rents go up and down. We forget a lot about like the recessions and other economic times that we go through where prices have to go down, or where there's deflation prices. One Man Island. I do sometimes do more streams than like regular videos. Other times I'll do more regular videos. So these days I'm kind of in a streaming zone, but I'm sure the other videos will come back one day. Not really a big video gamer, Malcolm. I play some old PC games, but not. I would not. I would never call myself a gamer. Daniel said rent went down in 2020. Rent. I mean, everything goes up, and nothing perpetually goes up or down. But here's the thing: when it goes down, nobody will talk about it. It may be a while, but like I just don't. After we have the conversation, rent's going up is crazy. I feel like the conversation, it doesn't do any good to keep dwelling on it. So that's why I don't talk about it as much. My thing, if I'm gonna talk about it, I want to offer solutions. I've been saying for the longest, Airbnb is the move. Rent's too high, application fees too high, all this other stuff, the utilities. Airbnb, somebody else has done all that. I've been saying that for years. I'll be trying to offer little solutions. That's just one. But I just don't. I don't like perpetually bringing up negativity. I just think it gets you anywhere, except more just like anxious about the future. So that's why I try to point to like, oh, they'll come down eventually. Like I try to look at the bright future, even though it might be 2058. Um, Either a present solution or a brighter future. Just I'm good. I'm good. Nah, for me, you didn't come off it the wrong way at all. Not at all. I think it's easier to get a seasonal job in Colorado just because there's more, Sean. Typically more. Colorado has a ton of ski resorts and stuff. Montana has some, but I think though Montana has Yellowstone, um, I think it's easier in Colorado probably. But I mean, they're both decent with seasonal jobs. I don't have a passion for creating music. I used to have a passion for writing. I'm trying to get it back. hopefully so I can write a book. Oh yeah, Airbnb does have cleaning fees, but I mean that's just part of the price. I almost wish they didn't show you the cleaning fee because that gets people. They be like, "What?" But like, yeah, it's part. But still, tell you for the freedom of being able to move around to different places if you wanted to, and you just pay one cost, one price. Boom. Like, I don't know why more people don't do it. People get locked into these leases, paying all this money. It's like you could just Airbnb a room or a guest house or a basement or something for that same price or a little bit more. And you wouldn't have to deal with none of that. You're right for being almost at 400 likes. That's amazing. I don't know when was the last time I saw 400 likes. I gotta start paying attention to the likes. This has been one of the best streams in a while. Really has. I'm gonna be right back. Did I mute? Hey, we back. Oh, 410 likes. Yes. Yes. And Daisy coming through with the love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Thank you, Daisy. Coming through with the pie. The Euros, International Super Chat Squad. Appreciate y'all hitting the likes. Appreciate the support. Thank you. My thoughts on New Year's resolutions. I mean, I feel like at this point we know most people make them and never achieve them. So I mean, do them, sure, but like, I don't really do them. But like, I mean, we kind of know nobody achieves them, you know. Yeah, I mean, describe. I always recommend checking Airbnb, checking Verbo. Um, anywhere I'm traveling, I usually do both. I use booking.com for my hotels, like exclusively. But I'll check booking, I'll check Airbnb. Some places hotels better, some places Airbnb is better. It just kind of like here in Denver. I was looking at Airbnbs and then I started looking at hotels and this place had like a last minute getaway deal. And I was like, okay, it's a little more expensive, but I get my own room, my own hotel room. The Airbnb I was looking at that was kind of that same price point, I would have to share a bathroom. So I was like, but that's because it's Denver. Denver's kind of a little pricey. Other places would have been cheaper. So I think, I check both. Hey, Will, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Oh, I know what I meant to tell y'all. I know what I meant to tell y'all. Well, somebody commented. Somebody commented on one of my videos yesterday. So there's a movie on Tubi called The Nurse That Found the Baby on the Side of the Road or something. It's about the girl with the, y'all know what I'm talking about. So somebody made like a little, not extremely high budget movie about it. And it's on Tubi. They used one audio from one of my Greyhound videos because the person was like, "Hey, it was like, hey, and I was watching this movie on Tubi, and at 9 minutes and 35 seconds, it sounds like your voice." And I was like, "I wonder can I find that movie?" And so I went to Tubi. There it was, and sure enough, they used it was me. It was, I'm like, what are the chances? And I mean, it's no. I'm flattered they used it, and they didn't use I'm sure it's within the fair use regulations, or they might have. Sometimes people will reach out and be like, "Hey, I'm doing so and so. Can I use a snippet of your video?" And I'm always like, "Yeah." So they might have reached out, but I just thought it was really cool. I'm like, "That's me." I'm like, "This movie needs to blow up." Daisy coming through again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Daisy. Thank you. With the mouse, with the fox, with the nice. Appreciate that sticker. Appreciate the love. Thank you. I said, "Yeah, this movie needs to blow up." Yeah, it's called "The Nurse That Found the Baby on the Side of the Road" or something. It's a very long title. But I thought that was cool. It's just crazy that like that blew my mind that someone was watching that and was like, "Is that Tim?" But it was Greyhound, and like no one else talks about Greyhound. But I thought that was crazy. Thanks, Crow Raven. Yeah, I didn't watch the whole movie. I just went and found that snippet. But Praveen coming through again with the love. Thank you, Praveen. Super chat spot. Thank you, Praveen. Yeah, at first I was like, they gotta cut me a check, and then I was like, they use like 10 seconds. I'm like, it's good. I'll get that back. Somebody else will be like, somebody will see that something will come good from it. Something good will come from it. But I was like, wow, that is because it was like a weird scene because she's like pondering something. Like Um, first she's in the car like driving, and she kind of pulls up the video about Greyhound, and I start talking. But then she's like standing somewhere just in the woods, like, and my voice is going in the back. It's kind of I got what is the name of the movie? Hold on, I can find it. Hold on, we gonna make this movie blow up. Let me it should still be in my search history. Hold on. The Nurse That Saw the Baby on the Highway. I think that's it. Is that it? Yeah, The Nurse That Saw the Baby on the Highway. Yeah, it's on Tubi. Yeah, and I think it's somewhere around the 9 minute mark or something. I think. Yeah, yeah. Your boy comes on. Hey, thank you, Daisy, coming through again with the euros. Thank you so much, Daisy, and the rose. Thank you, thank you. No, I don't get no royalties. I don't like stuff like that. I don't care about like Now, I mean, if it was a major or something, you know, that's different. But like, yeah, I don't care about stuff like that. Somebody will see it and be like, that guy seems very knowledgeable, and they'll go find the video, and I'll get something on the back end. I've learned that like, I remember when I was in that YouTube commercial the first time, and like I just did it. They asked could they use my stuff. Cool. YouTube's take care of me. Cool. I didn't realize they was going to use it in a national commercial during like the basketball playoffs or whatever. If I had known that, I probably would have wanted some coins. But I was cool with it. And they circled back and put me in a little ad that just like a super chat ad that didn't do much, but they paid me for that one. So that was one of those lessons where I'm like, okay, sometimes instead of jumping out the window, and I could have been totally like, oh, YouTube got over on me, blah 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 blah. But I was just like, cool. Even people asked me about it. I was like, it's cool. You know, YouTube's done a lot for me. I don't mind. And then yeah, they circled back and was like, hey, we're doing this so and so. It pays this much. You want to be in it? And I literally was in it for like 3 seconds. I literally said, Super Chat Squad, thank you, Jeremy, or whatever. Like literally. And they cut your boy a check. So like, I feel like it always comes back. Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of ego in that, like Daisy said. If you're like, oh, they gotta pay, yeah, you know, make a movie, make a video of your videos being, yeah, no, I'm good. I'll talk about it. It gives me something to talk about. That's worth it. Just talking, having this discussion is worth it. It's funny how when you find yourself on random places watch that video won like an Oscar. Right? Watch that, watch that video like blow up, that movie blow up. Hey, Daisy coming through again. I appreciate the love. Daisy loving these stickers today. Daisy's in a much better mood. The sticker game is, I can tell the mood by the sticker game. The sticker game's on point. Thank you, Daisy. I appreciate that love. Thank you. We here. The other Daisy, Daisy O. I sold my car. It just wasn't fitting into my future plans. I felt like I was holding on to. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I realized I was holding on to it because I was scared to let go of it. And I got to practice which I preach. So if I'm always on here talking about, the 3Ds, downsize, donate, dollar, I got to, you know, as a minimalist, I don't hold on to stuff out of fear. So took it down to the CarMax, sold it. Oh, Daniel, you found the scene? Cool. Yeah, it's going to win an Oscar for like best low budget production. Or does Tubi have awards? It's gonna win like a Tubi award. Do I miss my car? Nah. I mean, I just sold it today, so. Crow Raven, thank you. I appreciate that, Crow Raven. Thank you. Love the name. Thank you. It's a coffee fund. Okay, tomorrow, and we're gonna have to walk to get it tomorrow. So I'm excited about that. This is how weird I am. I'm excited to have to walk to go get coffee. It's not the same driving. That's cool too. But like, I'm excited to like have to walk to get coffee. See, there's just a lot of things that I was missing out on with the car, and I was blessed to have the car. Love the car. I hope it goes to a new home. Maybe an elderly person, young person, first car, whatever. But I'm excited for some of the things I get to do now that I don't have a car. If that makes any sense. David P coming through, super chat train. True. Thank you. Says thank you. You are welcome. Thank you for the support. Appreciate that, David B. Dave and Crow Raven. That rhymed. Thank you. I appreciate the support. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna go down there and does it? I've never been inside that one. The Dunkin' Donuts I go to, um, it's in front of it's behind a dog kennel. So there's dogs barking constantly. Like it's almost like that building wasn't built for Dunkin' Donuts and they just repurposed it because it's not. It's like an office building and it's got a Dunkin' Donuts in it somehow. But there's always dogs barking. So I'm like, is there a inside? It might just be a drive-through. I'll find out tomorrow. Walk all the way up there. And they're like, you can't come in. You have to walk through the drive-through. You ever walked through a drive-through before? I've done it. It's weird. Hey, thanks, David P. Appreciate that. Hope you have happy holidays too. Angela, I sold it. I sold it to CarMax. Yeah. So CarMax, for those you don't know, they'll buy like any car, or they'll do a free appraisal, and give you a price. You can go on the internet and fill some stuff out, and they'll give you a rough, basic kind of. Um, but you just and literally like you just walk in there and be like, I want to sell my car. And they're like, okay, give us a few minutes, and then they'll fill out some paperwork, ask you a couple questions, not even that invasive. Somebody will go look at it, and they'll come back and be like, this is what we can give you. And then you just say yes or no. I had a figure that I'm like, if they say this or above, yes, and they did. So, you know, took a little bit for them to do the paperwork. I was out of there. I left my apartment at 1. I got back at 3. And that includes the drive there and the Uber ride back. So I ain't mad. Daisy coming through again. Thank you, Daisy. Thank you. I like that smile. I like that. Hey, Robert Blass said insole fun. Oh, insole. Thanks, Robert. I appreciate that. Super Chat Squad. Yeah. You know what's crazy? Since I am downsizing, I was trying to figure out what shoes, because I have like 4 pairs of shoes, too many. So I'm trying to figure out what shoes I want to like keep, and I was like, man, I gotta hold on to these Skechers. Like I gotta hold at least one pair of these Skechers. But it's like I can't keep both of them. So I threw away the oldest pair of Skechers I had. I kept the other ones, but I still got to figure out what to do with my Nikes. It's because like the Skechers are great because, you know, I got plantar fasciitis or whatever. So I need a nice pair of Skechers, but I also need my hiking boots. That's two pairs of shoes. That's pushing it. My other pair of Skechers, my Nike, excuse me, they're just kind of for show. They look good. I got a pair of icy white Nikes on. You know what I mean? I'll show. I got them right here. You know what I mean? Like these. See these. And of course, I got my Dr. Scholl's in there. But these shoes just look good. But they don't really serve a purpose, like my hiking boots or my Skechers. So I'm like, I don't know. I have to figure it out. I'm just gonna sit these here, like Nike's sponsoring me. It's not snowing right now, Autumn, but I think it's going to tomorrow. Make a video walking to Dunkin'. If I don't know, maybe. Actually, I probably won't. I don't like that. I don't like the area. It's not a bad area, but it ain't conducive to walking, talking. It's not picturesque enough. Hey, Daisy, go for it. Go make a YouTube channel. Go for it. Let us know when you do. I'm gonna check it out. Seriously. Yeah, it wasn't crazy money they offered me, and I probably could have, if I sold it to a private seller, got more. I know I could have, but I didn't want to deal with the hassle and all that. Nah, I just didn't want to. Yeah, that's my type of. The, the hardest thing I had to do was sign my name at the end. There was like 6 papers. You got to sign these. That was, yeah, I like that. Everybody keeps asking. No, no car doesn't mean Greyhound. No, 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 no. There's still planes, there's still trains, Uber. Um, if I do Greyhound again, it would be like a really, like if I was like, all right, I'm gonna do the longest Greyhound trip in America, something like that, something epic, or it would be that was the only thing I could afford. And I'm hoping is the latter doesn't happen, But like I don't think I'll take Greyhound out of choice ever again, unless I'm doing like a real epic video. Um, if I can find a cool place to walk when it snows, Daisy, maybe I'll see. Perry, good question. Said, have you ever experienced racism during your travels? Can you give other? The chat is jumping up and down. Other black people any constructive advice regarding traveling America? I can. I can, Perry. I am the perfect person to give advice for black people traveling because I've done a little traveling and I've been black the whole time. Whole time, every travel I've ever been on, I've been black. Um, but all jokes aside, I almost never experience racism when I'm traveling. And honestly, the few times that I felt that maybe somebody was interacting with me because of my race, it didn't change anything. And I think that's the big fear is going somewhere and like the cops or somebody's racist. If somebody at McDonald's looks at you funny because you're black, you know what I mean? Like, so like my advice is to not worry about it. My advice is to not worry about it because I'd be all over the place. I almost never experience even anything uncomfortable about race. And when I do, it's usually just some weirdo. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. There are some people out there who won't like you for whatever reason. They're the minority. And if you do go somewhere and like it is somebody in authority who has a problem with you, that can happen anywhere. That can happen at home. You know what I mean? I've never had that happen, but that could happen at home. So like I always say, don't even think about it. You want to go somewhere, go there. Because the more you think about it, the more you're going to think about it. And then it's going to seem like that person who looks at you funny is being racist, and they might just think you have a weird shirt on. You know, I can remember a time I was at the airport and the security guard was like grilling me. And I'm like, here we go. Because it was TSA. So I'm like, I don't want no problem with this dude. I'm like, here we go. You know, this is in the past. I'm like, here we go. I walk up and he was like, dude, I love that Batman shirt. He was just looking at me and my shirt. And here I was in my head, like, oh, here the racism. So my thing is like, don't even worry about it. You know what I mean? Don't even think about it, which is hard to do. But like, the less you think about it, the better. Because, bro, rent prices are up, inflation's up. It's about to, people ain't worried. People don't sit around and say, boy, if a black person shows up, people raising their kids, you know what I mean? They got their own lives. If someone doesn't like me there, they're not going to do anything. You know what I mean? And so once I realized that, like, I don't even, you know, so I wouldn't worry about it. It's Carson Langston. Uh, that's what AH. You know what I mean? People got bills to pay, bro. People stressed. They ain't worried. You know what I mean? And if somebody is, it doesn't matter. They're not gonna do anything. You don't never worry. We don't never worry about going somewhere and people not liking tall people or short people. You know what I mean? People don't have to like you. But most places I've been, there was no. I always say this, especially when I came up with this saying when I was in Montana. Um, I never forget that I'm black, but I constantly forget that it's supposed to be a problem. Because I was in Montana, which is a state that whenever I tell people I've been to, they're like, Montana, or I lived there, Montana. Bro, I was in Montana, like it never, bro, I would go months without even thinking about racism or anything racial. Like we were just Americans in America, like, and then somebody might like back home or somewhere would say something like, "Oh yeah, you brave to go to Montana." I'm like, brave? Why? How? Like, don't you know how peaceful Bozeman, Montana is? You know how low the crime rate? I'm like, you brave to live in Detroit. So that's when I realized I'm like, oh, a lot of it is when we put it in our own heads. And then I remember when I went to Alaska, once again, back in the day, before I kind of got to this level of understanding. Um, I was in this little bitty small town in Alaska, and I just swore everybody was coming at me racially, and they weren't. It was me. I was giving off a weird vibe, so they were reacting to the vibe. Once the vibe went away, it was great. Nicest people you ever meet. That's my thoughts on that. Which isn't always what people want to hear, but it's what my truth. Yeah, who cares what people think? Hey Ted, glad you like the channel. We keep it real. We keep it real. Yeah, people don't care, and if they do, so what? Like, I'm a stop. I'm not gonna go to wherever I want to go because one person might be there who don't like. Do I have any things that I do to be proactive and protect myself? No, no. Um, I just don't have that mindset. Like, I keep my head on a swivel. I watch my six, but like, I'm not, no. Um, and I respect if other people do have that view of like, I gotta be proactive. Nah, like I I go places by myself. I don't have no weapon. I'm just there. You know what I mean? Like if they run up, they run up. Like I can't. I've spent very little time thinking about other people's actions and the craziness they might do. I know it. I've surrendered to the fact that at someone could come kick this door in right now, shoot me in the face. Game over. I got the latch on the door. You know, like so that's the way. Like I just don't go through life with a fear-based mentality. Um, if you run up on me, I'll protect myself, but I'm not gonna spend all my time worrying about protecting myself until that happens. That's just me. Yeah. When someone told me that you're brave to go to Montana, I'm like, bro, like if you would come to Montana, you would know how crazy that. I'm like, there's nothing happening in Bozeman. Nothing's happened. You know, that was funny. I thought that was funny. Matt, I do think fear is important because fear basically tells you, hey, something could happen here. I don't think fear is a bad thing. I always say fear is like your advisor. Like I'm a king, and you know, I love this analogy. Like you know, you'll see pictures of kings or queens. There's always that person standing behind them, like advising them. Usually older, wiser. That's what fear kind of is. It's just one of your advisors. Like, hey, in this situation, something might happen. You don't have to listen. You might be like, noted. I'm still doing it anyway. So I don't think fear is a bad thing. I mean, if anything, I think the reason we have such a problem with fear is because most of us on a daily basis aren't put in situations that are like life threatening. So our ancestors, I feel like, had a good relationship with fear because it was like wild animal, danger, danger. When their fear popped up, it was something real. Since we have such cushy lives, fear pops up for craziness. Because fear does what fear does. Fear's gonna do its job. And if you don't give it like real life-threatening issues to scare you about, it's gonna scare you about the little random stuff we go through. Which not to say we don't have life-threatening stuff too, but like I think our ancestors just had a better relationship because now we get scared over everything because most of it's not life-threatening, in my opinion. Hey, Crypto Pimp coming through again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Says great stream. Most white and black people get along just fine. Facts, facts. The media wants us to believe there are major issues between each race. Most people have the same issues as you, regardless of race. Exactly, exactly. And for 99% of people, those regular issues that we all go through are more important than the skin tone of the person walking next to you. Thank you, Crypto Pimp. Thank you. Appreciate the love. I appreciate you saying that. Like, it's so true. Like, honestly, and people get really mad when I say this, there is a little bit of ego involved when you think, oh, think about this. I had to look myself in the mirror, think about this. If I'm going to a city, for me to think that me, little bitty Tim, showing up is gonna make any difference. For me to think, oh, I'm gonna show up and suddenly it's gonna be pandemonium because I'm here and I'm dark. Bro, these people live here 24/7. They got stuff going on. They're not gonna care if I show up. The ego to think the whole is there racism in the world? Yes. Is it as big a deal as we like to make it seem? No. Okay. Okay. Perry, like you, Perry, like we not gonna. This is not this. Like if you want to talk about bad racial situations and all that type of stuff, this isn't the platform for that. We're telling, we're not pushing an agenda here. We're just telling the truth. So the last comment I could tell kind of by the way you were talking that like you wanted to push the agenda of black people being scared to travel. we not pushing the agenda for anybody to be scared to do anything like that on here. So that's why I blocked you, just because like, if you want to be fearful, fine. Please live your truth, live your dream. But don't try to put that on us who aren't fearful. Not to mention, I'm smart enough to know that people will pretend to be something to try. See, now that was a good troll. That was a good troll. See, it took me a minute. It took me a minute. That was a good troll. Perry probably ain't even black. Okay, I shouldn't have said that out loud. Ted said I was the only white person at a black student union formal party. Some dude asked me, "You playing?" I said, "Nope," and all was cool. Hey, I'm telling you, man. People trying to bring up other stuff to be scared about, bro. Like life is life. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. You don't have to be scared about it, bro. And if they're here's the thing. You can identify something could be an issue, but you don't have to like make you fearful. Yeah, there's some stuff going on in the world. And guess what? It's gonna go on and it's gonna do what it's gonna do, regardless of if I quake and quiver under the bed sheets. So I might as well get out there and live my life the best I can in spite of what's going on in the world. Instead of me being like, oh, the world's crazy, I'm so scared, I'm just gonna hide. Guess what? The big bag boogeyman walks through walls. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, if it's going to happen, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, you can't hide from it. Um, I have not been to VidCon, Jim. VidCon. I don't really rock with people like that, so I'm gonna be honest. Being in a room full of other YouTubers would probably drive me back to drink. Too many egos in there, probably. I'm joking. I wouldn't drink, but I don't know. Yeah, man, I'm just not. It's funny you talk about people will try to make you fearful. Hey, but what about this? What about this? I'm not scared. What about this? Like, so what you're trying to do is find that one thing to scare me. What does that say about you? And I understand, if we that seems normal to us to be super fearful and to give into the fear. But I'm like, I'm not, you know, I've accepted, embraced. Paul, I'm not trading crypto right now, Paul. I haven't even looked at crypto in probably a few months, just because my money's wasn't where the money I put into crypto, I expect to lose. So if my money's not like that, I usually don't even mess around with crypto. So hopefully here soon I'll be able to dabble again. But yeah, facts, Angela. That's another one I see. Those are the two groups I see the most. Black people like, hey, what is it like traveling? And women are like, you know, and I can speak to the black one, and I can. I've never been a woman traveling, so I can't 100% speak to it. But I'm like, bro, I know so many, or I should say, sis. I know so many women who travel solo, and they're fine. That's another one. Society's like, oh, you're a woman, you can't do that, bro. What? No, go where you want. Do like Angela. Go where you want. If it's a problem, you handle the problem when it pops up. Are there bad people in the world? Yes. Are there way more good people? Yes. Not to mention, you're a lot more likely for someone to be scheming and plotting on you at the house than on vacation or traveling. No one likes when I bring that up either. I don't even like saying that one a lot of times. Miss Earl Grey, I don't even like that term sundown town no more. That's just something people came up with, and they keep bringing it up to try to fear. It don't. There's not roving gangs of people out harming people. No, stop. No one's doing that. Could there be some real small back of the wood nowhere places? Maybe. But anywhere you're trying to go where normal, regular people are traveling, you're not going to. Yeah, AH, just be aware of your surroundings. Watch your six. Use common sense. Thank you, Daniel. You know, we watch a few movies from the 50s and we think, bro, nobody's. People aren't trying to go to prison for the rest of their life just because they got to mess with you. You know, it's just fun because I think it's weird that, like, in our everyday lives, we have embraced, I gotta ride the subway to work, and there's crazy people on the subway. I hope they don't bother me. And even though you hear stories about stuff happening on the subway, or you take that risk. But when it comes to travel, a lot of times, and I guess it's because it's unfamiliar surroundings, but we're not willing to take those same risks when it comes to traveling. You're gonna travel somewhere, there's gonna be people there. 90% of the time, nothing might happen. 10%, there might be, what I mean? You know, Monica, yeah, listen to your gut. Listen to your gut. I agree with that. Told this story. I went to Lake Havasu, where tons of people go every year, don't have a problem. I went there, it didn't feel right. There was just way too many "don't tread on me" other type of flags and stuff at that time going on. It just didn't feel right. I left. I went to Arby's, got some food, came back. I said, I'm not doing this. Something feels off. Left. Do I think I could have stayed and been okay? Yeah. Do I think something might have went down that would have made it uncomfortable? That's just the vibe I got. So I left. Just listen to my gut. Just pivoted. What up, Central? Simply Natural Black Life. No, Jason. I have siblings. Solo in the DR. Oh, that sound like a party. Sound like you wouldn't be solo long. That was Craig. I gotta do some work on the Ward University merch. I'm not sure. Y'all know me with merch. I get, it don't be a high priority on my list. I appreciate you asking about it though. Jasmine. Yeah, I don't even know what time it is. Like, for real. What time is it? Oh, so it's like 10 o'clock East Coast. Okay, I didn't even know what time it was. Rochelle, how you doing? Good to see you. Waves. I sold the car. I feel like it was starting to go downhill a little bit. Wanted to get out of it before it broke down. Honestly, for some of the things I planned to do in 2024, the car was kind of interfering with my decision making process. So I sold it, and now we back carless. That car free life, and I can make some good content around it. It's not a lot. I mean, you can make content about like living in your car, but like that's kind of regular, you know, but car free content. Yeah, this chair's yellow. This is a nice hotel room. I'm gonna miss this when I leave. This is a nice hotel room. Like it has all the stuff, and it reclines. Like it's a recliner. It's got a yellow recliner. Thank you, Jasmine. Yeah, we got some new content coming. My goal is to push myself out of my content creation comfort zone. I gotta, the internet is changing. The algorithms are changing. AI is coming. Like, I feel like it's going, you have to bring a little more to the table or bring it in a different fashion in the future. So I want to, or be tapped into things that matter to people in the coming years. I feel like a lot of the stuff that, you know, sometimes we talk about as content creators is like, what's the new stuff? So yeah, so I'm trying to get into that. Not having a car requires you to give up control to a degree. It does. It does. Especially when you're used to just hopping in the car and going where you want to go. Now you have to kind of figure stuff out. But I think that's cool, I was carless for many, many years. So this isn't new. So it's not like it's a big transition for me. I just, I just hop back in carless mode. But yeah, there is, if you're used to always having a car, yeah, it can be like, wow. But like, it's regular for me. So, you know. Jim, I do feel like here soon, one day, the videos, like live streams will be a little harder to fool somebody. Part of the reason I'm tripling down on live streaming is because as AI gets more prevalent, the live stream will probably be the last thing that AI takes over. Because it'll take it a while before it's smart enough to read the comment and comment. It will be able to imitate a 15-minute video of me soon. But because that's easy to do. It just looks at all my videos and it'll be able to, but in real time, for it to be able to read a question and answer back in a manner that's enough like me to fool somebody with my sense of humor. And like, it will only know, it will only be able to replicate or copy stuff I've already said. So that's, live stream will be hard for AI to duplicate for a while. So that's another reason I'm doubling down on the streaming, is because I'm thinking about the future. Because you'll see. Wait, all the content creators who don't live stream now, I'll be trying to live stream a year from now. Yeah, my next car, Angela, is gonna be a 4-wheel drive. And yeah, like I'm excited to, like, it was. I'll tell you, when the dude told me a month or so ago about the mechanical issues with it, I was just laughing. Like, it wasn't, it wasn't like, oh man, not I forgot. I was just like, all right, well, yeah. I don't know. I just don't. That's life. You just have to figure out what to do. Something happens. Jasmine, the AI takeover stuff is eerie. It's if I'm being honest, and you gave me the opportunity, would I push it down the road 20 years? Sure, but it's here, so I'm just trying to, without getting too wrapped up and worried about it, I'm trying to make moves that hopefully can insulate me, or allow me to continue to do what I love in an AI kind of based world, as opposed to, sadly, I think a lot of people aren't going to see it coming. Even though you hear about it every day, I think there's still a lot of people who no clue what AI is coming to do. Um, so, thanks, Peggy. I don't know, Nick. My hybrid car was amazing. I was. Everybody kept saying, "Oh, the battery is gonna go out at 150,000 miles." It didn't. They're gonna steal your catalytic converter. Didn't. Like, mine went good. It had 193,000 miles, and this was the first issue. The oil leak it got was the first issue. So for it to be 13 years old, and they showed me like the Carfax For it to be 13 years old and like that's the first issue it had, like I mean, hybrid or no, I think that's good. Sender, y'all have AI warnings and training at work? Where you work at? Um, yeah, Matthew. I mean, that car probably paper on paper the best car I ever had. Like it's literally paid for itself. I don't know how many times over. Well, that was because of the stuff I was able to do in it. But yeah, I got no complaints. Like yeah, like I said, if they'd give me $1.50 for the car, I'm up $1.50. Like that's the way I'm. That car is totally did what it needed to do. There's no loss here. You know what I mean? Like it. I drove it for 3 years. It did everything I asked it to do. I'm good. Like you know what I mean? Like this is moving on. It was the head gasket, Nick. Yeah, and I mean, I was just gonna keep driving it. You know, you put a little oil in it. My last car, my Sentra, well, 2 cars back, I think it had an oil leak from the day I bought it. I just, every couple of weeks, I'm like, oh, I gotta put some oil in the car. Like where I parked in front of my apartment was nothing but oil. And like if I was like settling down somewhere, I would have kept it. But like I got stuff I'm doing, so you know, leaving it at an airport for a month and then coming back and trying to start it in -5-degree weather at the shape it's in now, eh. But if I was just gonna like everyday drive, yeah, I would have just kept putting oil in it. Like I don't, like it was, but it just wasn't conducive for what I'm trying to do now. But I do want a 4-wheel drive, my next car, but I'm definitely in kind of a roomier one. But I'm definitely gonna go hybrid if possible. Yeah, like I love hybrids. Was it the car paid? No, it was paid off. It was paid off. Yeah, but then you'd have to pay for storage. I'm not gonna pay to store a car. You know, parking at the airport is cheaper than storage too, probably. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm definitely want like a SUV hybrid when I go to get another car. Like, are we gonna go when it's time to get a vehicle again? Or are we getting yeah, we getting something nice. Like we gonna get what we want. I kind of want a minivan too. Do they make hybrid minivans? I want a minivan. Actually, they do make hybrid minivans because I saw a video about it, but they're kind of pricey. What up, Blessed? Laying on your own. You're carless as well. Hey. Oh, you said you're careless. Oh, are you carless or careless? Um, Jasmine, I don't want to do van life, but I wouldn't mind having a minivan and having the setup in the back if I was doing a road trip and I didn't feel like spending $100 for one night staying somewhere, just sleeping in the back, something like that. But the ideal of living in a van just doesn't appeal to me. Like I don't. I like hotels. I like Airbnbs. I like hostels. So if I had to do it, definitely. But like Nick, thank you. Super chat squad said bus fare. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. Appreciate that, Nick. I'll take that bus fare. Thank you. Super chat squad. Thank you. Adrian, carless by choice, biking 22 miles round trip on an e-bike. Nice. Saving money, feel great. Yes. I wouldn't mind an e-bike. Like if I was living somewhere long term, I wouldn't mind an e-bike. Oh, Lane, you are Carlos. Okay. I just read, I was just reading I was just checking. Yeah, Angela, you know what's crazy? Angela said a lot of the new cars turn off when you're at the light, then turn back on. I thought I was going crazy. because I walk a lot, right? So in the last couple years, I kept hearing the cars turn on at the light, and I'm like, what is going on? Because I always thought like somebody's car was messed up or something, but I kept hearing it, and then finally somebody told me, was like, oh no, the new cars turn off at the light, then turn back on when you're about to go. I'm like, oh, because you can hear it when you're standing on the side of the road. I was like, oh, yeah, I thought I was going crazy. I thought it was me. Your household has more cars than people, Desert? Oh, that's very American of you. Um, Nick, I've never hitchhiked. I've picked up hitchhikers before. When I lived in like small towns or whatever. I don't think I'd do it now. Yeah. You ain't got to pay for parking on an e-bike. You better park it somewhere nice though. They'll come for that e-bike. Yeah, I wouldn't have known it unless I was standing on the side of a bunch of roads. But I kept being like, the light would turn. I hear all these cars. I'm like, what is that? Because it's loud. I'm like, what is that noise? I just kept me. Someone was like, oh yeah, the cars. I was like, that's brilliant. It only took 115 years for them to put that feature on cars. We slow behind the times. When did the Model T come out? 1905? I don't know. Oh, Kevin doesn't like that feature. It's not smart enough to figure out if you're gonna stop and go traffic. They'll fix that though. They'll fix that. Yeah. I promise you, by the time the cars are self-driving, it will know. Like it'll be able. I mean, that's an easy fix. Like the sensors can just. Yeah, I feel like that'd be an easy fix. The sensors will be able to tell if you stop and go quick enough. I mean, if the car is driving itself, it knows if it's a traffic light. You know what I mean? Like they'll fix that soon. Did y'all see I was about to go? Like I have hair. I was about to run my fingers through my hair. Yeah, I mean, so much of this stuff is gonna be moot points when the self-driving cars get here. It's just going. We're not even gonna know. We're just gonna get in and go. You know. You know what's crazy? I just thought about this. Here's a good question. Will we care as much about the vehicle we drive when it drives itself? Will we be as worried about the vehicle we drive or own, I should say, when it drives itself? That's an interesting question. I don't think we will. Two reasons. One, I think we like cars because what it says about us. And we're used to like being the one in the driver's seat. People look at the car, they look at us. I mean, that's part of it. Also, like certain cars, we just like certain features. But that whole, oh, let me buy bigger, better, faster to impress people when I drive past them. If you're in the back seat putting your makeup on, and the reason why I think that's true, because like think about celebrities who have drivers, they just get like the biggest, boxiest Escalade they can find. You know what I mean? They drive Suburbans, Escalades. They don't, when it's them, they might have their little play car for whatever. But like when they're being driven around, they don't take the Bentley. They take the Yukon. You know what I mean? So I could see once the cars start driving themselves, we stop caring as much about the flash and all that because we're gonna be in the back sleep. People not even gonna see us. I never thought about that. That's interesting. I wonder if car companies realize that. See, those are the things that fascinate me. They'll just be like one car. That's what all the people who's like, I'm never gonna do self-driving cars. This is what they're gonna do. They'll make it optional first. You can drive, or you can do the self-driving. It'll take 30 seconds to switch it over. Boop 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 boom. And what will happen is you'll faithfully drive that car to work every day, like you said. I'm not doing this new mumbo jumbo self-drive. No, I'm not doing it. Then one day you'll be running late, and you'll need to do something. Put your face on, write an email, whatever. You'll be running late, and you'll be like, you know what? Just this once, I'm gonna let the car drive me to work. You need to change the baby's diaper or something before church. Just this once, I'm gonna let the car drive itself. The car will drive itself. There won't be a hiccup. You'll get to work. You won't even realize we're already here. Wow, that was smooth. A couple weeks will go by. You'll do it again. Oh man, I'm running. You won't be running as late, but you're like, man, I'm running a little late. I could just have the car drive itself. Okay. Before you know it, you'll be doing it 2, 3 times, and then you'll just do it. All it takes is that one time, and then you'll just do it every day. Because like once you trust it, why would you ever drive again? Once you trust it, why would you ever drive again? People, like now, people say, I never take Uber. You take it once, you're hooked. You know what I mean? Like, why would you? Yeah, that's all it's gonna take. That's all it's gonna take. I can't wait for the. That's a good point too. They'll just raise the price. That I never thought about that. If you're gonna drive your car, the insurance rates are gonna go up. Like, hey, because the self-driving car will be safer. That is a great point. That is a great point. Marauder. That's a great point. Self-driving cars will be safer. So you'll have to pay extra to drive your car. Like, if you're gonna be driving, the insurance is extra $100 a month because it's safer for it to drive. That's a good point. How you doing? Let's talk. That's a great point. I didn't. Oh, ooh, that's a good point. That's how they can get you. Tabozu, how you doing? How you doing? Yeah, it's gonna be such a hassle. You're like, bro, like, why would I ever drive? It makes my rates go up because the insurance company will know. The moment you switch over to manual, it's gonna know. They're gonna get a signal. It's incurring a $10 daily charge for you driving, or something like that. So like, yeah, I can't wait. I don't like to drive now, so I can't wait. I'm ready for like self-driving mini cars. You know what I mean? Self-driving e-bike. So you know what I mean? Like when you just walk out and there's just a bunch of small, little bitty personal vehicles you can hop in and it take you to the store for like $3. That's what I'm ready for. When my DoorDash gets here quicker because it's self-driving, every place got their own little self-driving delivery. I order teriyaki madness, boom, 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 it's here. And I don't even have to, I can just say it. My usual order, teriyaki madness. 5 minutes later, it shows up. I'm ready. I'm ready for that type of AI stuff. You know, on the content creation end where it affects me, push it back 20 years. You know, but on the other stuff, I'm like, bring it, bring it. Self-driving scooter, I'll take one. I'll take one. At least gas stations will still be up and available. I mean, yeah, but like the car will go get gas at night. You'll just send it to the gas station. It'll just know. It'll drop you off and go to the gas station. Like, we won't go to gas stations no more. The car will go fuel itself. Like, what would it? You know how mad we're gonna get if we're driving to work, if the car's driving us to work and it stops by the gas station? You know how mad you're gonna get? What are you doing? Why didn't you go get? We'll be talking to it. Why didn't you go get gas last night? What? I didn't tell you to stop here. Gas? What? All these fumes? Oh, we're gonna be so mad. We're gonna be so mad. Which by then, yeah, the cars will all probably be electric. You walk outside your car, driving itself away. The car will be like, BRB. You'll just get a text on your phone and say, BRB is the car. Yeah, but this is one my dad told me about, and then I'm gonna tell the story, then I'm gonna jump off because we've been going for a while. My dad was saying, and I think it was with Tesla, but they were in talks or thinking about doing, I don't know, like its own like Uber network. Because like if a car drives itself, you can just send it out and tell it to like Uber people around anytime you're not using it, and you make that money. You buy a Tesla, they have like a Tesla Uber network, you sign up for it, and whenever you're not using the car, you just send it out and have it make money. Now, everybody would start doing that, it'd probably be oversaturated. But I'm like, that's genius. I just buy a car and have it Uber all day. I'll still take the bus. You know, like I thought that was interesting. So my point on that is like there's so much that's going to change because of AI that we can't even fathom right now because we're just not, we have, so much is going to change. And I don't think it's all going to be bad, but the world's going to look different 10 years from now, I think, which I think, progress. Anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in today. And thank y'all for allowing me to share my story about the car because I really needed to talk about it. So thank y'all so much for that. The views were amazing. The likes, probably some of the highest likes. We've almost hit 500 likes. I don't know if I've ever hit 500 likes or came this close to it. If 15 more people wanted to hit the like button, we could hit 500 likes real quick. The super chat squad came through heavy. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate that love, that support, that Uber money, that Insole money, the coffee fund. Thank y'all so much. I love each and every one of y'all. I mean that. I'm gonna wait for 4 more likes. I love y'all. I love these likes. I just want to hit 500 likes. 4 more people. Go. Thank y'all. I appreciate that. That was a great present. Appreciate all the love, all the support. Y'all stay blessed. Love y'all. Talk to y'all soon.